All right. We be live. Hello, Durud, and Shalom, and Hola, and Namaste.
Hello, everyone.
Hello, hello. Hey, everyone. Monkey has left to get some coffee. He's not back yet, but hopefully we'll see. He's probably going to be back soon, so that's why he's silent. But we could get started. Me and Sid could get started. Sid, welcome back. We missed you
Thank you.
yesterday.
Yeah, I missed you too. I so much enjoy doing this, and I was itching
Yeah.
yesterday. I
Yes.
even I
Okay.
even commented from the dentist office.
Mm. Oh
So,
yeah.
but I'm back.
Okay, that's great. So, a guy wanted to be here today, but he's occupied with something else, and he said he's going to be back here on Monday. And so we're going to have Guy back soon. And Monkey is still getting coffee, and be here as well at some point. But we should get started right away. So I don't know if you guys saw this yesterday. Scotty
I
B.
am sorry,
Uh,
my coffee
it's
machine
okay.
is going crazy.
You don't need to explain. You don't need to explain because I'm explaining the
No,
news.
but I want
And
to
we'll
explain.
come back. Yes, but no. I'm explaining the news, so it's okay. That's fine. So, so this is Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent dropped this yesterday, and we already covered this with Ali yesterday. So I wanted to get you guys to comment on it as well. So let me just play it.
Do. Again, we have asymmetric information, and I'm not sure why oil has popped up on this, because this for now, and it is at the president's discretion. If we are doing the maximum economic pressure, then that means that likely there will not be a large-scale kinetic restart. But I would emphasize that is for now.
So, that is for now. So this was already the first 25 seconds, and there's a lot of information just packed in this 25 second. And this is what he's talking about, right? So oil prices are up, and Scott Bessent is saying, I don't understand why oil prices are up, because the fact that we are doing economic pressure means that we're not going to do military escalation. So oil prices shouldn't be going up, because we're signaling to you that we're not interested in military escalation. We're focusing on this economic pressure. But also then he clarified at the end that means this is for now. Like, we might do military escalations later, but this was a clear communication by Scott Bessent that we were right, that at least either President Trump is not interested in escalation right now, or they're aggressively trying to create the impression that they're not interested.
So I'm kind of puzzled by how the price of oil is set. I think there's some sort of international price setting authority, right? It's not just supply and demand. Do you know about that, Armin?
What do you mean?
The price of oil. It's like there's some sort of an international body that sets the price. It's not strictly supply and demand. Isn't that right?
No, it is supply and demand. It's
Okay.
Globally. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it is. It is obviously influenced by supply and demand, but it's a little bit more complicated than that. I probably should look it up more before I say anything.
Well, insurance goes into it too, and the more it costs to insure, it might affect the flow, because a place with high insurance costs or low probability of getting by without an attack will but that more controls the flow of it. That
That is all
when we
supply
have
and
big
demand.
trouble, yes, that's like there's there. This is a better way to say it. There's a lot of factors that go into supply and demand, not just
Yes.
how much there is.
Exactly. So
Mhm.
insurance, the flow, supply chain, it all goes to supply and demand. So if the insurance goes up, that means demand is going to get less because prices are higher. If the supply chains are disrupted, that means supply is going to be less. So prices will go up. Go up. It all comes down to supply and demand, and different things impact supply and demand. But when you say it's more complicated than that, well, yeah, it is very complicated,
Yeah.
and all of it eventually, all the complication eventually impacts supply and demand. Like all those complications eventually comes down to supply and demand, right?
Of course.
Yes.
Yes.
But let's go back to what Scotty B is saying, because he is signaling that there are, for the foreseeable future, this is what the United States is going to be focusing on: suffocating the Islamic Republic economically, and that they're good here. And this doesn't. Let me just play the first 25 seconds again, because this was a major bombshell here.
And again, we have asymmetric information, and I'm not sure why oil has popped up on this, because this for now, and it is at the president's discretion. If we are doing the maximum economic pressure, then that means that likely there will not be a large-scale kinetic restart. But I would emphasize that is for now. And we do have control of the strait. You would have seen media reports that large amounts of energy are getting out. And I think that we can continue doing that in the southern lane. And that, I think oil markets are misinterpreting what this economic pressure means. The economic pressure means that we are going to all of our allies, and this is going to be the greatest coordinated economic isolation in the history of the world. And we are going to them and saying, you are either with us or against us. You want this murderous regime to end. And if you insist on the doing business with them, either transferring money, buying their oil, they're doing seaborne ship transfers, then the U.S. Treasury and the U.S. government, they will put its full might and force toward enforcing against you. So it is time for our allies and the rest of the world to make a decision, and we are going to squash the economy of this murderous regime, which that will curtail their ability to project power through their proxies. It will mean that they cannot pay the military, and we have substantial inflation, both food inflation and ordinary inflation in Iran. And what we have seen, I see lots of reports that said, oh, well, this has never worked. It does work, because we have a combination. It is a 1-2 punch. We have the blockade, and we are going to have the toughest sanctions in history. And I will tell you, this will work. It worked in Venezuela once we put up the blockade. It is working in Cuba right now, and it is going to work in Iran, and we are going to collapse this regime.
Another layer to this is, so we have the blockade, we have the sanctions. So the blockade is on the Iranian ports, the sanction is on the Islamic Republic, and a secondary sanction. And there's also tariffs on all the countries, 100% of the tariffs on the countries who are trying to bypass these sanctions. And also, not only this has worked in Venezuela, it's also worked against Saddam, because Saddam was not toppled just by the military operations in 2020, in 2 or 3, right? They were toppled after years of economic pressure that came before it against Iraq. So the removal of Saddam took years. It wasn't just those 2 weeks that U.S. military marched on Baghdad. The preparation for that happened years ago with the economic isolation. So what do you guys think?
Yeah, I mean, I agree with that. I think that this economic pressure is a very powerful tool, and it has shown results in other places. Of course, it comes with a cost. There's kind of like a strategic impatience. So there's like frustration, I think, both from the people who don't want a conflict and the people who do want to see the regime end. So I think in some ways, like, both sides are anxious by this positioning. But yeah, I felt like I'm not a military expert, but I have felt like the blockade plus the sanctions has been the most effective at damaging the regime, more so than the kinetic action. I mean, I think it's probably that both have done damage, but at this point, I'm not really convinced that short of boots on the ground, that like just air power alone can do the kind of damage that this economic pressure is doing.
Yeah. I mean, Amir, and before I go to the chat, Monkey, did you want to add something? Because some people in the chat agree with
Yes,
you.
there is an added point. Like right now, Brazil has increased 60% year over year. Colombia started ramping up about 5%. In two places. So Cartagena is up 2%, and Barrancabermeja is up 11%. In the U.S. system, it's up 4.8%. That doesn't sound like it up, but the U.S. system is huge. So a 4% increase in the U.S. system is a lot. Chevron alone is up, I think it's up to 2%, but their total is just millions upon millions of barrels of oil. So when all these other places across the world increase, it takes the way of the weapon that the IRGC was trying to use, which was economic instability, especially in the oil markets. Not only does it take it away, it's trying to do a permanent job of their only weapon being attacking their neighbors. Because if they can't affect the oil, that's the only thing that can affect, and that works against them because it becomes an anaconda constrictor. The more you attack your neighbors, the more they're going to be against you.
Exactly. 100%. I do want to highlight some comments, but before I do so, thank you so much. I don't know how to pronounce your name, but thank you so much for the jewels.
Effectual insurrections.
Infectious instructions. Thank you.
3109.
Thank you so much for the jewels. I appreciate that. And then we get Amir was saying the Islamic Republic doesn't have an issue selling the country treasures if needed. So that, yeah. And then he says economic struggles is always a good idea against the enemy. It won't be enough with those terrorists. And Amir also said, and yes, Iranian people will suffer the most.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, and that's the sad part about it, right? So it is kind of everybody suffers, and in some ways, the regime kind of suffers the least. Although their internal pressure builds, but some autocrats and dictators and despots have used external pressure, external economic pressure, or external strategic pressure to consolidate their own power. So they are able to sort of is kind of a judo move, use external pressure to improve their own situation and the sort of conditions of their cronies.
Right. And so here's GTA was saying, I hope we see full-on military operation on top soon. When do you guys think that will happen, if it is going to happen?
I'd say after midterms. I had a quick question for you, Armin. You did an economic analysis on how much they would need to, basically hold the population down. And we talked about, like, it could be like Cuba. They could let everything else fall to shit and just hold on to themselves, and it could still be bad with economic pressure. So I just want to put that in there. Like, maybe you could expound on that. You did an analysis with Ali just to support Nathani's point.
Yes. So the problem is that the cost of suppressing the Iranian people for as long as they're armed is very low, and the Islamic Republic is going to be willing to cut so many things to be able to have enough money to do that, right? So the Islamic Republic is still making billions in revenue every year, and even with all of this. And if the pressure becomes really, really high, it could cut so many programs. It could cut paying nurses. It could cut paying teachers. It could cut, I don't know, so many of the other services that keeps the infrastructure together, and just continue paying militias. It only takes a few thousand militia to come into the streets to shoot into crowds of unarmed Iranian people to try to suppress them, right? But the more they cut from other things, the more the infrastructure breaks down, and the more people would be willing to come out and protest because there's really not much to live for. So it does increase the crowd sizes and the level of anger and the level of frustration that will lead eventually to the next, and then the next, and the next uprising, right? One thing that, because the cost of paying some militia to come and shoot into unarmed Iranian people is in the millions, is in the tens of millions, which is pocket change compared to, but again, the goal is not to make it so that the Islamic Republic cannot pay for that. The goal is to just break everything else to the point that it cannot pay for anything else, and then it cannot pay for its war machine against United States, and it can't pay for holding things together so that everything breaks apart. One thing that, again, I have to remind everybody of this, one thing that will significantly change the calculation of the cost for the Islamic Republic to suppress the Iranian people is arming the Iranian people. If the Iranian people get armed, then it will become, the cost of suppressing them will become astronomically higher for the Islamic Republic. And Monkey, that's a very good question and a good reminder that you brought. Thank you for bringing that up.
It was a good analysis. I loved you guys' work on that. I thought it was a great conversation.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate you saying that. We did get a super chat. I don't know how to read it because it's in all caps. Thank you for the effectual insurrection. Thank you for the super chat saying, "Hell yeah, I like this guy. First guy ever to say the screen name right since 2009."
Wow.
Okay, wow.
I'm
Thank
just
you guys
reading.
for
I'm just
all.
reading.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Oh, that's why it's all in all caps. He got so excited that somebody read the username. Oh wow! Look, not only he gave us a super chat, he became a member as well. See this, guys. This is why we should read people's usernames.
Right, we should.
We should read people's usernames.
Yeah,
He became a member. Welcome to our group, and he gave us a super chat, and he's shouting, all excited. But go on, Sid. What are you going to say?
No, so I wanted to say to Effectual Insurrection 3109, great that you're part of the group. We love having you here. And also, we are all in favor of effectual insurrections. This is what we're trying to, help to inspire and to organize around. So I think your name, it's not just a name. It is, it's a motto.
Oh. And also, effectual insurrection is also saying that thank you guys for all you do. I love to be on a Zoom or group stream discussion to help explain with my local experience. Well, effectual insurrection 3109, you're in luck because we have a group exactly for that, which you can join and come talk to us. We have group calls there every single day, every day. And once every 3 days, it's free for everybody to join. And the link is in the description. The link is in the QR code on the top left. And you could come and explain that to, and not only you could come there and tell us there, we live stream it on Liberty Politics, so other people will hear it as well. So come join us in our discussion group and talk to us. I'm there, Sid is there, Monkey is there, so you could come and talk to us, and we'll stream it, so it will be on our YouTube channel as well. So check the link in the description and come join and talk to us.
One thing I like about it is that sometimes a conversation will start on one topic, and because it's a discussion group, the conversation veers into other topics that are also important, but you wouldn't have gone there. Like the good thing about a good conversation, you don't know where it's going, but it stays interesting.
Yeah, Monkey is saying that.
Stay on topic.
Monkey is saying that to me because I try to keep that on topic, and he's trying to sell. That he's telling me like actually it's good that it. So guys, for YouTube, that's not a good thing because we edit these things in segments, and for the segments to work out, it's better for the thing to stay in one topic. So I'm limited by what works on YouTube.
Listen,
but Monkey, Mike, I don't want to steer. I don't want to actually change the direction of this conversation. So I'm going to highlight the next super chat. Thank you very much. I know when Monkey is indirectly talking about me. Okay. Elite 02K. Thank you so much for the super chat saying, what is the reason they haven't yet armed the Islamic Republic? Oh, they tried, they failed because they did it in the wrong method. And because they did it in the wrong method, they think that now there's an impression that that's the bad thing to do at all, instead of trying to do it in a different way. By the way, I think they must be, I hope they are arming the Iranian people at a smaller level for special operations. I'm pretty sure Mossad and the CIA are both doing that. They're not doing it at a large scale that is required for creating an army, because if they were doing that, it would be obvious that they were doing that. It would be hard to hide that. So, but they are arming the Iranian people on a smaller level for special operations. But right now, the popularity of that method has this decrease in Washington, D.C., because they tried to do that by arming the Kurdish separatist groups, which was a very bad idea, and it backfired. So now, unfortunately, that idea has been sidelined. Hopefully, it will come back. And I think the way to bring it back, and I think Sid and Monkey agree with me on this, is to do it with collaboration and under the leadership of Princess of Pahlavi. So that's what we should be advocating for. You guys agree?
Absolutely.
Yes.
Yes.
So I just want to clarify what the question is what is the reason they haven't yet armed IR? Who hasn't armed the IR?
Oh, I thought you meant the Iranian people. Why
No, that's probably Elite 02K. Just maybe you can clarify for us. I think that's probably what he meant.
Oh,
but
I think that's what you meant, right? But IR usually means Islamic Republic. Oh, sorry, I misread that. Yeah, Elite 0. You meant the Iranian people, right? Not the Islamic Republic. Yeah. Because obviously that's what he meant, because the Islamic Republic is already armed.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Yes.
Yeah. So
that's what he meant.
Right. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Thank you for paying attention. You're clarifying that. Kevin, thank you so much for the membership gift. I appreciate you. Let me actually go back over here.
Thanks, Kevin.
Thank you, Kevin. And then we had CZ had a great point. CZ and Alex had a great point. I don't know if you guys noticed, but Scott Bessent made it very clear that the goal is to collapse the regime. This is something that we haven't heard from most people in the Trump administration, right? That's actually the goal, right? But so, for example, CZ Singh Hexet may not have mentioned regime collapse as an official goal, but Bessent sure as heck just did. Yes, right? Alex also pointed this out. He said they are going to collapse this regime. So this is the most direct announcement of regime collapse being the goal. Sid, you wanted to say something?
Yeah, no, I agree with this. I mean, this is a good point to make. I mean, I would say it's not only did he announce that it's a goal, but he essentially predicted it was going to happen.
Yes.
So, that's very encouraging. I mean, I think Bessent has proven himself to be one of the most savvy and competent operators in the Trump administration. And so if he's expressing confidence, I mean, I think that's very promising for our side.
Yes. Yes, and then we got another super chat. Here, you want to read this one, Sid?
Okay, this is from Effectual Insurrection 3109 again. Thank you so much for the super chat. By the way, I worked at the Capitol for the head of the House of Appropriations at 19. My pops worked at the Pentagon for 30 years. Mom worked for DARPA and Meriwether Lewis from Lewis and Clark in my ancestry. Wow, that's a hell of a pedigree, and I'm really excited to hear from you, Effectual Insurrection 3109, when you join our group. But that's a lot of very interesting background. head of House Appropriations. House Appropriations is basically how the Congress spends money. At 19, that's incredibly young, so suggests a great deal of precocity. My pops worked at the Pentagon for 30 years. Okay, so 30 years, Pentagon. That is the military command center, the greatest military the planet has ever seen. And DARPA is a Defense Advanced Research Projects Agency, or something like that. It is one of the government's most successful technology startups or incubators, I would say. There have been many attempts to do this, but DARPA has an incredible track record of developing technology, not just for the military, although that's the intention, but also for a lot of civilian uses. So, Lewis and Clark were the explorers who explored the American West. And so incredible backstory there. Can't wait to hear more from you. Effectual Insurrection 3109.
All right. Thank you. All right, let's go to the next video. So
the U.S. is quietly breaking Iran's grip on the Strait of Hormuz. American forces reportedly protecting tankers moving some 10 million barrels of oil every day through the waterway, as President Trump opens up another front, threatening economic D-Day for countries that help Tehran stay afloat. Let's bring in the former defense secretary. The U.S. is quietly breaking Iran's.
Yeah, so that's already something we know. But let me go to this next video. So I'm not going to play this, but let me see. Is there even audio here? So the reporter saying NATO warned Iran strike on NATO country and we will hit back. Arakshi saying NATO is a joke. Reporter was saying why. Arakshi saying Israel just bombed a Turkish base in Syria yesterday. Turkey is a key NATO member. NATO said nothing about Israel, but wants to lecture Iran. And this guy is saying Abbas Arakshi is a strategic genius. What do you guys think about this commentary here?
Well, okay, so okay, let's try to be fair. NATO warned Iran, strike one NATO country and we will hit back. Yeah, okay, so Syria, well, just to be clear, Syria is not a NATO country. So let's say there's some ambiguity there at the very least, right? Arakshi said NATO is a joke. Look, NATO has issues. I think we've all really talked about that. That that there are a lot of question marks about NATO and its future. NATO was designed for a very, very different global strategic environment than we have right now, and I think that NATO members' participation in their own defense has been underwhelming in many cases. And I think that there is at least at the political and diplomatic level, there's, for my taste, way too much anti-American sentiment among the sort of political class within NATO. So, yeah, I mean, I think there's some issues there. But I think Arakshi is really in no position to talk about NATO being a joke. I mean, so, like, I mean, what military alliance does he have? What military alliance would he point to as being better? So, I think it's easy to it's easy to disparage NATO, but the issue is, what's the alternative? Okay, what is out there that is not a joke? What military alliance is not a joke? Okay, so now we say, okay, he mentioned this. Israel just bombed a Turkish base in Syria yesterday. Okay, so this is interesting too, because Turkey has also a new strategic military alliance, right? The Mecca plan. So what's going to happen here? All right, are we going to see Pakistan and Saudi troops flooding in there? Or is that a joke also?
I would like to add to this. So does this mean if you attack any base from America on Earth, you're attacking a NATO ally. Because if attacking a Turkish base in Syria means you're attacking a NATO ally because that's a Turkish base, that would mean that an attack on any American base is an attack on NATO, right?
That's a good point,
great
yeah.
point. Great point.
That's like the central logic of the statement is self-defeating, because by that logic, you've been attacking NATO bases since the start, because every American base is a NATO base, right? I don't think he wants that.
That's a great point. Yes, fantastic.
Yeah, so I think the last line also is, what does it say? That he's a strategic genius?
Yes, Abbas Araghchi is a strategic genius.
He's
This is
calling
interesting because
all
it got
NATO to bomb him because he bombed an American NATO base, apparently.
No, man, this is like high school level strategic genius.
True. Oh my god. And then Shauna is here. Shauna gave us a super chat. Shauna is saying, what's interesting about this economic fury strategy is that both the hawks and the doves in the coalition are mad or annoyed. Right?
Yeah,
True.
absolutely, Shauna.
Yes.
So yeah, I mean, this is the thing. I think like, okay, for us, on the Iranian national movement side, we are impatient. We know that the IR is a cancer, and it has been infecting a potential great country economically, militarily, culturally. It's been infecting a great country for nearly 50 years, and it has spread its garbage throughout the region and throughout the world. We can't wait to see the end of it. So as Hawks, we are I think we are at least frustrated. Although I do appreciate the strategy behind it. But in the end, what we really want to do is win, and what we have to evaluate is this helping us win? Or not, and I am encouraged.
Yeah. Okay, and then we got Comrade Shifty. What is this?
Araghchi.
Oh, Araghchi.
Strategic genius, bitch, please. Yes. Yes, Comrade Shifty.
Comrade
Bitch,
Shifty.
please.
I love that.
Member for 9 months. Thank you so much, Comrade.
Thanks, Comrade Shifty.
Thank you. All right, let me go over here. So, guys, I don't know if you guys saw this, but the head of the Conservative Party, Pierre Poilievre in Canada, met with Princess of Pahlavi. Let me actually watch this one. Say thank you to Crown Prince Reza Pahlavi for discussing how Canada can protect our country from IRGC terrorists and stand with the Iranian people in their fight for a free and democratic Iran. Canada must expel terrorist regime operatives, protect our communities from threats and intimidation, and stand for freedom. So this was a big deal. This is, I think, the highest level meeting from anybody within the Canadian government with Princess of Pahlavi. This is a huge recognition and of Princess of Pahlavi's position as a representative of the Iranian people from Canada, which is like really great for our cause. And it also shows the power of the Iranian diaspora. Like, obviously, the reason why you would do this is because the voter base in Canada, the Iranian voter base in Canada, would want that. And this is him as the head of the Conservative Party showing that he's seeing them and he cares about them as a way to try to get their votes as well. So let me just play this 1 minute video. See, I haven't watched this myself.
Crown Prince, it's a real honor to be back with you. I have fond memories of meeting you in person when you were in Canada several years back, and we continue to support the efforts of you and your followers to promote a free Iran, to defeat this horrendous tyrannical dictatorship, and to give Iran back to the Iranian people. So I'm looking forward to seeing you in Canada. I know that you'll get a very warm welcome, and I look forward to embracing, shaking your hand, and discussing the bright future ahead.
I would like to, and I think on behalf of many of my fellow compatriots, thank you for all your strong support and words of encouragement. I look forward to meeting with you when we see each other, hopefully soon in Toronto, and discuss further in what way can we achieve at the end helping the Iranian people liberate themselves. So I look forward to that. And again, I wanted to thank you for this opportunity and all of your support and your strong words of encouragement and support.
Thank you very much, Crown Prince. Many blessings to you, and we'll see you in Toronto very soon.
Looking forward to it. Thank you, sir.
All right.
So what do you guys think?
I
Yeah,
have
go
a
ahead.
question here because I don't know much about Canada, but I'm going to try to see it from the American angle. When Trump didn't win the second time, everybody saw it as a disaster. But some people think, look, it's better that people saw how bad it can get with Biden, because when he came back more sober about like, how we have to like be more active. Like I have my complaints about him, but he is way more active and way more selective now. And he is, I would say, stronger because Polyev wasn't successful the last time. I would wonder if this would herald a better comeback, seeing that Canada has gotten worse instead of better. Like changing the guy didn't change the problems. Like things got worse. Would that lead to him being better positioned this time to have a say in the politics? I would also like to highlight that he spoke of two very important things, not just this present meeting, but having met him in the past and plans to see him in the future, which I also think is great because it's like outlines like, yeah, this isn't stopping here. This is going to keep going. But maybe some people in the chat that are from Canada can talk about his future chances, because as far as I remember, he was pretty good.
Oh yeah, he was amazing. He was he was so on point with his takes. I really liked his positions, but he didn't win. Trump winning also kind of hurt his chances in Canada. Trump winning in the United States. But yeah, maybe you're right. Maybe you're right. And people in the chat, I agree with Monkey. Sid, what do you think?
Yes. Okay. So, I mean, this is great to see. It's great to see Canadian politicians reaching out to the Crown Prince, and it not only just expressing support, but expressing a desire for a cooperative relationship between the nation of Iran and the people of Canada. I think it's a very natural partnership, right? Free people, modern people, future-looking people, and so I think that in the future, Canada and Iran should be allies. Should be part of the Liberty Bloc, and so these leaders are setting the groundwork for that. So I'm happy to see that. Just on Monkey's point, I think that he makes a great point about. I think that if Trump had won in 2020, I think his overall impact would probably be less than it is having lost, right? Because his time as a sort of central figure of American politics is extended actually by that loss. And I think that like Poilievre's sort of calamitous collapse when it looked like he was in a really strong position might have sunk other politicians. So I think it's a real testament to him that he has survived that and sort of maintained a presence on the Canadian political scene and looks like a real challenger for future leadership. I would say that Poilievre's loss, I think it's not. Armin, you characterize it as him sort of losing as a result of Trump's victory. My own analysis is a little bit deeper than that. I think that Trump said some very undiplomatic, impolitic things about Canada. And it was that put like Poilievre, who was in really a strong position, on the defense. And it was something that Carney and the Liberals took advantage of. And then, so just beyond that, Armin, as a Canadian, how do you feel about us weighing in on Canadian politics?
Oh, how dare you? You have no right. Okay. In fact, as an Iranian, why do you guys even comment about Iran? You have no right. You have this. You have only the right to talk about your own country. In fact, your own city only. How dare you even talk about other cities in the United States if you don't live there? Okay. And
Yeah.
in fact, your own neighborhood only. Like even within your own city, don't you dare talk about other neighborhoods unless you actually live in the other neighborhoods. Okay. Only this around the area that you live. That's the only area that you should get to talk about, and nothing else. No other place on earth should you be commenting about. Okay.
We are
In
bad
fact,
boys.
just the family, not even the neighbors. In fact, not even the cousins,
Yeah.
just the people in your house.
Yes.
Oh, I have one final
Right.
point I'd like to highlight.
Right.
Canada has shifted more towards China, more towards open borders, and I think that was going to play a part because they did see. I think they did see things get worse. I think he has better chances. I just want to add that.
Yeah, no, that
Yeah,
might be right. Yeah, go ahead, Armin.
No, is I was gonna. Shauna gave us a super chat saying Canada's problem is that their primary identity is not. Oh my gosh, Shauna, how do you know this? That's 100% true. This is why I shouldn't say this, but I don't like the way Canadian patriotism is expressed. Canadian patriotism is usually expressed this way: we're not America, right? And they're proud of it. Saying that said, we want a free and independent Canada. Yes, that's we do want. We do want that, and I wish that Canada could brag about something other. Focus on bragging about things other than being better than America, which is not healthy. Yeah.
So I think I mean Shauna is a very insightful person in general, and very knowledgeable. But she also is in the Pacific Northwest, so I think Canada is in her backyard, and probably she has. She might just meet Armin's standards for commenting on
yes, close
Canadian politics.
Close enough. Yes. No, but she's 100% right. And this is why they keep bragging about having free healthcare, which is like not free and not very efficient at all in Canada. But they're like, oh look, United States doesn't have healthcare. Here's the thing that Canadians need to understand. Canada is not a viable country without United States. The only reason why Canada even gets to be a country is because they're next to the United States. So I think it's really like Canada's security comes from the United States. Canada's culture comes from the United States. Canada's economics comes from the United States. Most of their income comes from the United States. There's everything, like almost everything in Canada is dependent on the United States, but their expression of patriotism comes from not being like the United States.
Well,
right. And honestly, if you walk in most cities in Canada, like it's hard to unless you pay attention to some signs or something, you can't tell. Like if you wake up in a city in Canada, without actually looking at some signs, it's hard to tell if you're in Canada and United States. That's how similar it is, right? So it's unhealthy. But go on.
Yeah, so I mean, I think so. I would just say, I think that Americans we have our own accountability here in this regard, because anti-American sentiment is something that has really sort of festered within America's own cultural elites. Okay, and then it's being exported, right? So basically, I think many of the sort of Western countries are sort of culturally downstream from America, and if American cultural elites are anti-American, that is very seductive to a lot of other countries in the Western sphere. So. I mean, I would just say that I also noticed, on YouTube and social media, other places, many Canadians expressing a love for America and doing so in a very sort of defiant way, saying that they reject the sort of knee-jerk Canadian anti-Americanism, and that they love America, and I think that I think of Canada as a peaceful and prosperous country and a wonderful country and a country that we share a North American culture and tradition with. And I think that we ought to have a very sort of cooperative relationship. But unfortunately, we created this poison, and we've convinced the world that this is sort of like the height of fashion, to shit on America. It's bad for America, and it's bad for Canada. It's bad for the West in general, and it's something that we really need to start undermining and defeating.
Look, one last thing I'd like to say about this is that it's a trap. If you trap yourself into being a contrarian of everything America does, America might do something good, but because you're a contrarian, I'm not America, so I'm going to do it the other way. You lock yourself into policy that are self-destructive. Like having the opposite border policy and letting everyone in, or letting every visitor like maybe become like right now the American, the Canadian accent sounds more like this than it used to sound like this, eh? Like you know, like you know what I'm talking about, Nathan. This is like a common joke. Like it's good to have your own identity, but you can't base your identity about being a contrarian, because then you still have no identity.
That's right. I mean, I think, and this is the issue with the sort of like Trump derangement syndrome, right? Is that people basically just take a knee jerk opposite position to whatever Trump is saying, right? So essentially they're outsourcing their analysis to Trump. Whatever he's for, I'm against, and that gets really stupid really quickly. So, yeah, I mean, let's try to think independently here. And for Canadians, just taking a sort of an automated anti-American stance on everything is deeply counterproductive. Of course, criticize us when we deserve it, and often we do. Often we do. But if your position is just everything American is bad, then you're clueless. You're fucking clueless.
Exactly. And Sean up with another super chat saying Canada was originally set up by the British Empire to stop American growth. I mean, proto-Canada, not Canada itself, like what eventually turned into Canada. They are the result of us, historically speaking. Yeah, they actually burned down the White House. Did you guys know? Right? Yes. Yes, they actually... the Americans attacked them and they lost, and the proto-Canadians responded. They made it all the way to the White House and they burned the White House down. Right. Yes, they did. The Canadians burned down the White House and they were almost like taking over like America, but their general died in the middle of the battle, so they had to retreat.
Well, I forgive Canada. So I should say I forgive Canada. I would say, like, I love Canada, and I love the UK. So we're long past the American Revolution, and I think of these countries as sister countries with deep roots, and I want their success. I want their prosperity.
So Jose is saying War of 1812, exactly. And I'm really saying, the Canadians were cool for like 5 minutes. No, during the World Wars, also they were kind of, maybe too bad. I was going to say
vicious,
badass, but vicious, yes.
There's a couple of Geneva Convention lines that are because of Canada being so, wow, you guys are going crazy over there,
right?
Oh, really?
Yeah, they looked at the list of the war crimes that people shouldn't commit, and they treated it as a checklist, right? Like they tried to achieve every single one of them. Like, they were crazy. Yes, and Monkey is right. There are certain things in the Geneva Convention was because of the war crimes that the Canadians were committing. It was insane. But anyways,
but it's never a war crime the first time.
Yes. True. So like the Allies and the Nazis had the tradition that during Christmas they would stop fighting and they would exchange gifts, And the Canadians saw that, and they put bombs in those gifts or something, I think, and they blew them up. so,
Y'all are
anyway.
blowing my mind. I mean, this is my
At worst, we would do a
my
lump of coal.
impression of Canada is just destroyed.
Yeah. Yes. Anyways, we should go to the. Speaking of burning down the White House posted this, which I thought it was cool. Saying, which I mean, shows that they're taking this very seriously. But in all caps, saying the most crushing economic operation ever taken against any country. President Donald J. Trump, and they posted this picture. Saying economic warfare against Iran with the White House logo. So I don't
It's
know,
a
the
fiery
White House
post.
yes, it is. They're leaning into this.
All praise to Allah.
Yeah.
All
Subhanallah.
praise to Allah.
I like this. They're calling it Economic D-Day, which is fitting.
They love branding. With Trump in the White House, they love to put a good, like, title on it, put a little marketing on it.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, so let's look at somebody that has a grim take on all of this. Ryan Grimm. He's not happy with any of this. So you guys know that the national debt of United States just hit $40 trillion, right? And now everybody's talking about it, right? That 40 trillion, wow, this is like crazy higher than any country. This is a big deal. And Sid, do you want to read this while I go and find more posts about this?
Okay, just so people understand, it is Trump's Iran's war that is driving the debt and interest rate crisis. Asian economies are tanking because they are starved of oil. That, in turn, is punishing their currencies. And Japan, in particular, is selling our bonds to try to prop their currency up. As they sell, that exacerbates the crisis. If Trump truly tries to target Iran economically next week further, it'll be pouring the last gasoline we have right on the fire. We're watching this man break the global financial system for nothing. The deal Iran offered in February was better than what he can or will get now. And we're all going down with him.
All right, thoughts on this?
Yeah, I mean, so I would just say, like, just right off the bat, this is totally disqualifying. So he said, just so people understand, it is Trump's Iran war that is driving the debt and interest rate crisis. Okay. It is Trump's Iran's war that is driving the debt and interest rate crisis. I don't believe for a second that Ryan Grimm's economic policy is deflationary. So this is just politics, man. This is just politics. If Ryan Grimm was in charge, we would be spending a lot more.
I would like to comment on this. When we look at the debt, there's two numbers. There's the U.S. government accounts and trust funds. That's 7.78 trillion. And the publicly held debt is 32.2 trillion. What's that publicly held debt? That's the part that held that, whoever owns treasury bills, notes, and bonds. Right? So that's everyone that invested in America. That means that everybody that holds that debt does not want to see America go down because what they're holding would go down. You understand what I'm saying? And I may have a cursory understanding of this. Armin probably understands this part of the debt more than I do because you've spoken about like debt is not necessarily a bad thing before. And maybe you can expound on that.
Yeah, people assume debt going up always means it's a bad thing. It could be a bad thing, but sometimes debt not going up is a bad thing. United States projected growth is very, very high. We are right before the peak of the fourth industrial revolution, where everything is about to change in robotics and AI, and it's a winner-take-all kind of situation. Where it's actually, unlike most things, this is actually a win-lose. It's going to be a first place winner, and everyone else will be so far behind. Then the first place winner is just going to dominate anybody else who's not going to be in the first place. So not holding a lot of debt, that means that you're leaving opportunity on the table. Not having a lot of debt, that means that you're not borrowing and taking advantage of all the investments that you could be making and all the infrastructure that you could be building to prepare for taking advantage of all the opportunities that the fourth industrial revolution is going to provide for you. The United States has a lot of debt, and that's why the United States has a lot of capital to play with. And we are entering into an era where whoever has the most capital is going to win. So even if interest rates go higher, as long as there's a huge distance between the interest rates and the rate of return on all the projects that we are going to be investing in, the gap between the interest rates and the returns on all of these projects is an arbitrage that everybody should be taking advantage of. And I think the United States is in a great position to take advantage of all of that. And I think going forward, we might get into a situation where we're going to get such high levels of productivity that inflation is not what we need to worry about. That deflation is going to be something that we need to be worried about in the near future.
Yeah, so that's a great point, Armin. I mean, it's interesting because I keep seeing this reports from Europe and economic analyses about how Mississippi is richer than this country and that country and this country and that country. Okay, so I mean, I think people don't really appreciate. I mean, this is Ryan Grimm. I find Ryan Grimm to be, whether intentional or not, pretty much down the line a demoralization agent. I'm not saying that he's not sharing his strongly held beliefs, but I think that it tends to just go in one direction, which is America bad, and. I think that America can be better. I think that we have some bad policies, and we need to improve those policies. We have a lot of work to do. There's a lot of problems there that we have to improve. There's no doubt about that. But I think that Grimm is comparing America to a fantasy utopia rather than looking on the ground. So Armin is talking about this, fourth industrial revolution. And as far as I can see, there's really nobody else in the game except for China. So there's just two competitors on the field right now. Everybody else is sort of not bothering to participate. Okay, so China is a threat. China is a real player. I think China has some big disadvantages too that Ryan Grimm never talks about because he's intentionally or not a demoralization agent. But there's a lot to be optimistic about America, and that doesn't mean that everything is cool and we can just sit back and put our feet up and enjoy the wealth. No, we have to work hard, but it's worth doing, and if we do it, we will win.
Yeah, and also this is like this debt being at this level and interest rates going higher would have happened regardless of the war with the Islamic Republic. Like, it's not directly connected to that. We would have reached here anyways.
Yeah, and I believe we would have reached here faster if Ryan Grimm was in charge.
Yes, and the only place where interest rates for debt is not rising is in China, and it's not for good reasons.
Yeah.
Okay, so you don't want to be in their place right now. We got a whole bunch of super chats, and the first one is a comment that one of you guys started, right, from effectual
Insurrection.
So insurrection 3109 saying my iPad is stuck on a caps lock. I'm not yelling, fam. I have to use my cell phone to type lowercase. Oh no, I didn't. I thought you were excited. Oh, okay. I was like, you're so excited. Okay, well, thank you for clarifying. And then we got another super chat from Vidur. Vidur saying, if Iran is freed, apart from the U.S., Israel, and Ukraine, apart from U.S., Israel, and Ukraine, what are other countries that are likely to become close allies of the new Iran? Javid Shah. Oh, that's a great a great question. I mean, if conservatives win in Canada, right? So I think here's an interesting thing. Any country that has a patriotic government, I think would become a close ally, right? Would that be a? I think Iranian people are very patriotic, and any country that has a leftist government probably would be hard. It would be harder to be a close ally with, and any country that has a patriotic government would become probably an easier government too. Yeah, but go on. Sorry, Sid.
Yeah, I think there's a kind of a, and we've talked about it before, but there's a sort of a natural security alliance that could form with Iran, India, the UAE, Israel, Greece, right? So as a sort of counterbalancing this Mecca plan type of thing, right? So that's one that we can sort of see forming quickly, and I think that would be quite cooperative and beneficial, not only in security but also economically. And I just want to say, like, one of the things that that I've been convinced of since really sort of looking into this, and since really being really paying attention to the Iranian national movement, is the potential for Iran to be a great power. It has human capital like you wouldn't believe, incredibly talented and creative people and intelligent people. It has incredible resources. It has potential for to lead in technology, in science, to be a cultural exporter, to be a tourist destination, to be an energy power, to be a military power. And this should not be surprising because Iran was once a great power. So in a way, it's sort of like it would be restoring to its rightful place in the world. And not just a great power, but I think a power for positivity in the world. So this is, one of the reasons why I'm so excited to see the end of the IR, because I think it has been constricting an explosion of positivity in the world. So yeah,
let's call it the Islamic Republic for people who might be new here that don't know what IR.
Oh, sorry, yeah, the Islamic Republic.
No, that's okay. Yeah. Yes. But people had so many answers. Taiwan, yes, Taiwan probably would be an ally. I mean, it's going to be challenging because China is a big economy, and the future of Iran wants to try to maintain a healthy, non-confrontational relationship with China. I know that they're just like the United States does, right? It tries to do this. You don't want to go all out against China, so it has to be balanced, right? It has to come up with a balanced relationship, right? Somebody was asking Azerbaijan. Azerbaijan is going to be obviously the new government is going to try to maintain a good relationship with Azerbaijan. It's going to be difficult though because of some territorial disputes with Azerbaijan, so that might become a challenge. But hopefully we could have that. Amir was saying India. Yes, India will be a country that there's going to be a lot of investment in maintaining a really good relationship with. Poland, it will be easy. Ukraine was a given in the original super chat, saying other than United States, Israel, and Ukraine, because those were assumed that they were going to be good. But yes, Ukraine, definitely Ukraine. Hungary, yes, that's a good one. Casey was saying I was very disappointed in Italy. Yes, some countries that European countries that have been friendly with the Islamic Republic or didn't take the side of the Iranian people during the Lion and Sun Revolution. Sometimes some politicians are going to find it difficult to not listen to the Iranian people's disappointment and anger towards the governments of those countries. So, for example, UK would be difficult. France would be difficult. Argentina, that's a good answer. As long as the right-leaning government stays in power there, it's going to be probably easy. A lot of South American countries with right-leaning governments are going to find it easy to have a really good relationship with the future of Iran. And also, this comment was started by somebody.
Oh yeah, I started that. So the Trinoculus P, the Iranian liberation will inspire other nations to protect their independence. Yes, I believe this too. Yeah, I believe that. We were talking, Armin. We were talking before. I mentioned that video that you showed of the women, life, freedom, men. What was it? Men, nation, prosperity chants.
Yes.
So I think that represents a sort of a cultural evolution. So where we are in the West, we have taken on some sort of pathologies, that cultural pathologies that are the result of let's say too much prosperity. It's been too easy for us, and we haven't been challenged. And the Iranian people have gone through hell. And they've hardened themselves, and they are representing a future vision. And I do believe that liberate, because it's not just a liberation; it's an unleashing of immense potential. And I do think that it will inspire other nations. That people look at it as, okay, you know what? They're seeing something that we've missed. We've been too prosperous, too lazy. And now we're seeing like these people who have gone through it, who have suffered under a tyrannical sociopathic regime for 50 years, and they have so much vision and so much energy, and we have to look at that and we have to start to incorporate some of their ideas.
Yeah, perfectly said. Beautiful. All right, we got another.
I
Okay,
think-
so.
I
Yes,
think
go
there
on,
also
sorry.
an example of the red-green alliance that should be the red, the black-green alliance, whatever it's called, is an example of what not to do in the bad revolution.
Yeah, it's a cancer. It's a cancer, and everywhere it goes. I mean, just think. I mean, this alliance, this alliance is, it's so it has no durability. Okay, for the Red Green Alliance is temporary, and it's necessarily temporary because both sides have ambitions for global domination, and they have vastly different ideologies, and in the end they're just going to have to kill each other. Like one of them is going to have to kill the other. So you can't build wealth with this. You can't build a future with either of these ideologies, and that's why they're a cancer.
Great answer. Effectual Insurrection 3109 just gave us 10 joules and then another 2 joules. Thank you so much for the support. That's very kind. And then we got Stick and Beans with a super chat saying this White House plank is the design of Soviet era. Oh, let me see this one. Right, let's talk about this. With Stalin, even the fonts, the red and black, and this is more than a message to the Islamic Republic about communist China that I don't get really. I don't know. I think you might be reading too much into this. No, it's just this is not. I mean, I've seen communist propaganda, and they don't look like this. Before. Are you guys getting the same sense that Stick and Beans is getting? I don't know. I'm not getting it. No.
Okay, yeah. I mean, I don't know. We have to look into that more. Is this
I can sort of see it in the sense that communist propaganda tends to be very simplist. It's like words at the bottom, picture of the guy, like one color. This is like typical in the sense of its very, very simplistic nature, and that it has the color red. But I always appreciate Steak and Beans. Great contributor, always giving to the cause.
Yeah, so I'm not seeing it, Steak and Beans. Like this is the style of communist propaganda that I'm, Soviet propaganda that I'm used to seeing. But maybe you're right, because for me, this is more realistic than that. The style is different. The font is, I don't know. I don't think just red and black doesn't necessarily mean it's the same style. But maybe you are more visually gifted than me. So maybe you are seeing something that I'm not. So
Armin, can you put up the comment again?
yes.
Is it possible? Okay, all right. Yeah, so just so yeah, so this is a little bit off topic, but I always get excited when in the group, like in the school group that we have, right? When I'm participating in that group, I don't actually see what's on YouTube. So when I'm listening, I always get excited when Armin says "stick and beans," and then there was actually, because I didn't actually see it written. I remember Danny and I were debating: is it steak and beans or is it stick and beans? But now I'm seeing it and I realize it's neither. It's steaks and beans. Steaks and beans.
That's what I'm saying.
No,
Stick
okay,
and beans.
okay.
I've been saying stick and beans.
But are you
I'm just
saying it plural? Are you saying it plural? Steaks.
Okay, I'm just saying it so fast. The S is just
No. Don't change a thing. I'm just saying for my own knowledge. Okay, I love the way you say stick and beans.
Yes.
But I would just say to steaks and beans. Tell me, would you prefer me to say it the Armin way? Because I'm happy to do that, and I think that it has a lot of character. But I would say if you can find some examples of the Soviet era propaganda that looks like this, the Stalin, even the fonts, I would love to see that. It's not something that occurred to me when I first looked at it, but you might have some knowledge on that, and that would be really interesting to see.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he gave us another super chat. He said, "Go Google search of it, old Soviet." Yes, it is. Okay, so this is what old Soviet propaganda looks like. So I searched for so old Soviet propaganda. So you're saying this is in the same style as this? Again, I'm not like a visual artist guy, so I wouldn't know, but maybe it is. So maybe you're right. I'm just putting them side by side.
Like just in the simplicity, but not really in style. Like
maybe
style,
this one.
I wouldn't go there.
Maybe this one here. Let me see. Maybe this one. It's still, I don't know. Maybe.
Could be.
Okay.
But it would be interesting to see some examples that I think that demonstrate that better, steaks and beans.
Yes. And thank you, Steak and Beans. Thank you for the super chat. Shauna, clean Shauna, with a super chat saying they only care about the debt when it can be used as a weapon, and that's both sides, to be honest. You know what? Actually, that's a very good point. This is, this is a good. The next video that I'm going to play, Scotty B is going to be talking about the debt, and he's going to blame it on the Biden administration, which is, maybe justified. So, but yeah, you're right, Shana. And then Zipgun with a super chat saying he's just angry about where the money is being spent, military versus social programs. Oh yeah, that's actually an interesting point, because the issue is not the spending, because I mean, I am for limited government, but I'm not for small government. Okay, I'm for big government. I'm for limited governments in the areas that they shouldn't be, so that they could have a lot of revenue to spend on the places where they should be, which is military, policing, and fighting corruption. I am for limited but big government, limited in the places they shouldn't be, so that they could be in the places that they should be, right? So the issue is not that they're spending a lot. The issue is, where is the spending going? And if the spending is going towards military, that's good. But if the spending is going towards social programs, then that's bad.
Right? Yes, I agree. Yeah, I agree with both Zipgun and Sean on this. So yeah, I think that right now both parties are promoting inflationary policies. So the kind of blame game on this is really disingenuous. and it's just politics. And unfortunately, we're not really getting sort of any serious policy ideas about how we can bring down inflation and reduce government spending. I think that government spending is too high, and I think that it was already high before COVID, but since COVID, it's kind of exploded, and now that we're past the COVID period, we ought to be trimming. But people are just so invested in the largesse of a government that doesn't have money. So I think this is not a good strategic direction to go in. But that's where we are right now. So the debt going to 40 trillion or whatever. I mean, this is a milestone, but it was in that direction anyway. And and the socialists are the last people to be lecturing us on lean spending.
That's good. Yeah, that is, you're right. Like, that's so rich coming from socialists. Oh, government spending too much. I mean, that's so so hypocritical.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, do you just see how much Mamdani is spending on grocery stores? It's outrageous.
Yes. Neo 7635, thank you so much for the jewels. The Africa Chica, thank you so much for the jewels. I appreciate that. And how do you pronounce this again?
Scarter or S Carter? S Carter 228, or maybe Scarter. I like Scarter.
Scarter. I mean, he told us how to pronounce it. I just forgot. I'm sorry.
Tell us how to pronounce it, Scarter.
Yes, please do.
Remind us.
And member for 4 months saying, love you guys, always informative. Oh my God, thank you. Now I feel worse for not remembering after that kind message.
Thank you, Scarter.
Oh, there you go.
Oh, S Carter. Okay, S Carter. Yeah.
S Carter.
S Carter. Okay, we won't forget that now.
Okay. I mean, you won't forget that. I cannot guarantee. I'll try. I promise. Okay, we got this Jew hater gave us a comment, which is really funny, actually. I love this comment. Oh my God, this is such a joke. Sid, do you want to read this?
Okay, IDF kills children for $5. Thank you, IDF kills children. The Mecca Joint Defense Agreement Pact will cure the cancer. I think North Korea and the IRGC should join. Glory to the Ummah. Javid Moshtaba Khamenei. Okay, nice.
Look how desperate they are, Sid. The Mecca Joint Defense Agreement. He thinks that's a big deal. He thinks that is going to destroy the enemies of Islam. Wow. That is pathetic. Go on, Monkey.
At this point, we don't know if Javid Mojtaba is basically, they're starting to believe in the resurrection, I guess, because I think he's dead.
Yeah. So Javid is long live, something like that, right?
Yes.
Okay. So let's live first. Let's live before we, have a long life. I mean, I think so. So let's meet that threshold first. So I think the Mecca Joint Defense Agreement pack. I'm not sure what you mean by pack there. I guess pact.
I got a question.
It's like a backpack. It's like a backpack.
Do these three people, like, I know Pakistan likes the IRGC, but does Turkey really like them? Does Saudi?
No, I
they've
don't.
been real nasty.
Actually, don't.
That's a very good point. That's actually a very good point. That as pathetic the security agreement is, this idiot doesn't understand that the security agreement has been made against the IRGC. The point, I mean, Monkey, I almost forgot about that. He thinks he thinks the security agreement is for defending the as on the same side of the Islamic Republic. Nobody. These are your enemies. Oh my God, he's so okay. But go on.
It's like when Putin tried to join NATO.
All right, let's get setting. Yeah, but go ahead, Sid.
Yeah. So I mean, no, actually the Putin joining NATO analogy is very apt here. So I mean, if we look at this, the Mecca Pact, let's call it. So there's one analysis that I saw recently that's actually quite convincing that this alliance is actually a post IRGC alliance. So it's anticipating the end of the IRGC and looking at it from the standpoint of what will security be past the IRGC. But if you look at it as far as this alignment, I mean, let's say, why did the IRGC not join already? Was it offered to them? So you have to consider that, because right now the IRGC would love some allies. So it's so why not? So I think this is very unlikely, and I think that the sort of glory to the Ummah. I'm not sure. Do you understand what the Ummah is? Because this is a real problem. I mean, you're really talking about. First, you're talking about a significant tension, okay, between the members of the pact and the IRGC on ideology. I mean, it's an unresolvable tension, because the IRGC is a revolutionary force. Okay, its intention is to spread its theology, and its theology is anathema to the members of the Mecca agreement. So that's one, and then you throw in North Korea. Okay, North Korea. Yeah, I can't wait for North Korea to join the Ummah. That will be fascinating. This to me looks like just like this is just like anti-Israel slop, AI slop. I mean, it's just a bunch of random shit thrown together.
AI would do it smarter. Sometimes I think they're performatively Muslim, that they're just stupid lefties that don't know what they're talking about.
Yeah, you might be right. AI has moved on. AI has eclipsed this.
I don't know exactly. Well, let me tell you. The Ummah, this is the state of the Ummah.
Oh, I like that. Kim Jong-un.
No, look at it. This is the state of the Ummah right now.
I'm confused. Why is he? What is?
He's in a hospital bed, but he came to the protest. So
I thought he was just tired.
He looks tired.
I get a wheelchair. What are you doing? Why you got a butt in there?
Yeah, that's why. That's why. Yeah, that's the state of the Ummah right now.
But when North Korea joins, I think it will be a real infusion in energy.
Oh, they're so religious.
Yeah. Anyways, thanks for the laugh, Jew hater. And then we got another super chat from Stick and Beans. Stick and Beans with a super chat saying, "Look for black and red portrait of Lenin." Oh, okay. I will. Okay. Let me see. Oh, okay, yeah. Maybe a little bit closer to this.
Maybe Steak and Beans has one of these photographic memories and it just clicked to something he saw and remembered. That could be it. Some people got like a good memory like that.
So here's what when I search for black and red portrait of Lenin, this is what shows up. So let me remove the comment.
Okay.
So
yeah, that one.
Maybe. Which one?
Yeah.
This one?
No, the one just below it.
This one. Wait, this one? Because this is the one that we're comparing it to.
There's a white and red one on the right that I think is of the era, and the red, black, red, and yellow one. You see that one on the right? Like that black and red, that white and red, I mean, that one. And there's a one a little bit below that I think is kind of similar. Like I can see it, but if you got a photographic memory, you're just you see that one yellow, black, and red on the right? No, a little one up, that one. Like it's got like a little bit of a simplicity, like, and it doesn't have any other imagery.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you. Thank you for the super chat, Stick and Beans. And then we got Casey. Thank you, Casey, for the super chat saying, "I fart in your general direction." IDF kill. Okay, to the Jew hater. Okay,
Is that it?
Thanks, Casey.
Also, the guy with his butt up on the bed, like he's just farting in everyone's, area instead of sitting down.
Okay. I don't know what there's some other comments starred. I don't know what they're for. But okay, let's just go to the next super chat. Let me unstart this. Okay, so Shana, thank you so much for the super chat saying the Ummah is in its death cries. Yes, the younger generations are remembering who they actually are, including the Arabians, by the way, the true Arabs. Oh yeah, so what Shana is referring to is many people from the different Islamic communities are going to their pre-Islamic identities, right? So this is the most aggressive version of this is in Iran, which this has been already happening for so many decades now. I mean, it was always there, Iranians looking at their pre-Islamic identity, but now we're seeing that in many other Islamic countries and communities, like for example in Egypt. Many people look at the pharaohs and ancient Egyptian symbols as the true identity of Egypt rather than this Islamic stuff. And you see that in many places, many countries who are supposed to be Islamic, younger people are going to digging their ancient pre-Islamic identity and embracing that instead of the Islamic identity.
Can I give two quick examples? I'm sorry.
Well, let me finish. No, that's okay. That's okay. So the last people you would think that they would do that would be the Arabs themselves, right? Because they're like, okay, maybe in Egypt it had a history before Arabs came over. In Indonesia, Malaysia, there's something there to work with. But the Arabs themselves, they're the ones who spread Islam. But no, it's not true. Even the Arabs many young Arabs are looking at their Arab identity before Islam and embracing the pre-Islamic Arab identity. Go on, Monkey. Sorry.
Like, there's three things. One, we did look at the statistics of this in Saudi Arabia, and the youth is not tying itself so much to religiosity. We saw this also in Lebanon when we looked at the numbers, especially against Hezbollah, but just in general, they're not becoming as religious. And also, Armin had told us that one of his most effective methods of delinking people from Islamism was to tie them to something else, that it was an effective tactic. I've spoken about this before. And one of the methods that I thought was like tie them to like an earlier, like the nation state, not the religion, and to like nationalism, and to the previous older, culture.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. 100%. Yeah. So this is a great point by Shauna, and it's something that I've been observing and excited by these nascent movements. I think that Iran is the vanguard of this, right? Iran has really sort of categorically rejected Islam and has embraced its pre-Islamic identity. And we see that the evidence is really strong with all the mosques being closed because people don't attend, and the sort of renewed faith communities, Zoroastrian, Baha'i, Christian, even. So there's a lot of exploration of Iranian identity that is really a sort of categorical rejection of Islam. But so that's the vanguard, and I think they're the most advanced. But yeah, we're seeing this cropping up in other places, and it's understandable, because we've gone through this sort of Islamist movement, and it's just not delivered. It's not delivered on any kind of prosperity. And it has promised that, but it hasn't delivered it. And so, yeah, it's understandable that people are looking at, okay, what has this Islam actually done for us? I mean, is this really the model? And who were we? Who are we? Who were we? So you see this sort of like Neo-Phoenician movement in Lebanon. You see like sort of a Neo-Coptic a movement in Egypt, Neo-Amazigh in the Maghreb, and also a much more assertive, sort of culturally assertive minority groups and out groups like the Druze, like the Kurds. So yeah, I mean, I feel like the Middle East is changing, and it's really on the verge of a real revolution that I expect the liberation of Iran will vastly accelerate. In addition, Shauna mentions the Arabs doing the same thing, and I've actually been seeing this, and it's also very promising. I'm seeing like. I saw this some sort of a diplomatic event at the UAE where they had girls dancing and showing off their hair, like swinging their hair around. And I saw one Emirati influencer saying like positioning this as a assertion of their Emirati culture, pre-Islamic Emirati culture, and saying like he was sort of positioning as a fuck you to the Brotherhood. So these are very interesting. I think they're nascent. There's still a long way to go, but there is interest, and that interest is, we should be encouraging it because like they need this for their own future, for their own prosperity, to get out of their forever wars, right? To get out of it, they need to find some other source of civilizational inspiration.
Yeah, that was pretty well said, Sid. We got another super chat from Shana. Shana saying, wasn't there a prophecy that Muhammad had that Islam will go back to just the Arabs in the end? No, there was a prophecy that there are like 73, I think, tribes of sects of Islam, and that's, I think I got the number right, and 72 of them will be false, and only one of them will be right. But no, but the prophecy is that it will eventually dominate the whole world, Arab and non-Arab, everything. So that was, I mean, unless you heard about a prophecy that I haven't heard of. So maybe you're right, but I haven't heard of that one that you're referring to. And thank you, Shana.
So I think that Shana might be referring to something I heard recently about so Muhammad saying that I think it's probably in a hadith or something. Muhammad saying that Islam started out strange and it will return to being strange, something like that. It was very cryptic. Maybe that's what Shauna was referring to. But yeah, I think I don't think that is a prophecy about Islam going back to Arabs in the end. But we'll look into that. Maybe you're right.
Yeah. Thank you, Shauna. All right. Let's go. Well, let me actually just quickly play this video because we talked about the national debt. See what Scotty.
Remember, we did not get here in a day. That we were left with a mess. The Biden administration had the highest deficit to GDP in history when we weren't at war or weren't in a recession. For 2025, we brought it down by more than 1%. Remember.
Okay, so this is expected. I mean, he ain't wrong, but this is expected. Just wanted to make sure, Scotty B, we put that here as well. Okay. And if you want to say anything about it, say, and then we'll go back. We'll go to the midterms. We'll talk about the midterms a little bit as well. But go on. Oh, you didn't want to. I thought you were going to say something. Okay, never mind. Yeah. Okay. So let's go to Chuck Schumer, doubling down on his support for Michigan Senate candidate Abdul El-Sayed. This is significant, in my opinion, because a lot of people are trying to separate the DSA part of the Democratic Party from the mainstream, established part of the Democratic Party. And I think him endorsing that shows that they're basically the same. Connects them together. I mean, this is. Let me actually just play it before I talk about it.
The bottom line is we're going to win Michigan. Let me tell you why we're going to win Michigan. First, El Sayed has brought in new energy and new talent into the Democratic Party, but also in Michigan itself. But second, Michigan, Trump has so bungled the Michigan economy. You know, the numbers for Trump on how well he's doing in keeping costs down in the economy is in the low 30s. In the country, it's in the high 20s in Michigan. Why? He created a trade war with Canada. Anyone who's halfway decent as president knows that the Michigan economy and the Canadian economy are totally intertwined. And he's blown it. We're going to win Michigan. Look.
So this is very, I mean, I don't know, to me the fact that mainstream Democrats are supporting somebody like El Sayed, like, this is damning. Am I reading too much into this? What do you guys think?
Well, I would like to get into his central point. Oh no, one state's economy is having trouble over a neighbor. Let's burn the Constitution. I don't give a fuck about, like, why is this guy talking about, oh, the Canada is doing things that affect us as a nation, and the federal government has to be subservient to the state's interest in that particular case. That's not how this nation is built. The states over their trade don't get to override the national interest. That's not how this works. Just because Michigan has trade with Canada doesn't mean that Canada and America don't have interests that have to be aligned for trade to go on. This is a retarded argument. We are not gonna, forego our national interest over Michigan interest because there are 50 states. It's not just, this is stupid. And anybody that falls for this rhetoric is either an anti-USA, because or stupid. How do you fall for this rhetoric? Its central point is dumb.
Sid?
Yeah, Monkey is 100% right. Actually, I saw a candidate, Michigan candidate for another office. I'm not sure, but I saw his victory speech. He was a Republican nominee for some office, but he was making Monkey's point exactly. He said, we have to compare Michigan to other states. And in many metrics, Michigan is doing poorly. And so, but other states also have Trump as president, right? So, this is a sort of a bait and switch going on here, what Chuck Schumer is doing. I think that Schumer here is operating on just political calculation here. I mean, the blue wave is coming up against some big challenges, right? And one of them is that there was a hope that that the Democrats would take the Senate. I mean, this was a sort of an outside hope, but it's really hard to lose a Senate seat and take the Senate, right? So so that's another point that I would bring up, that like he's trying to resurrect what is a very, very troubled Senate campaign in Michigan. And then the other thing, I saw this yesterday, and I should have kept it and shown it, but I saw a rally with people holding up signs saying Democrats for Mike Rogers. And so there does seem to be like some real pushback. And I think that El Sayed, his past statements and his associations, including his mother's work at a sort of a Hamas or Muslim Brotherhood connected charity, all of these things are very troubling to a lot of Michiganders, and not just Republicans, Democrats as well. And also, you see that El Sayed's own primary see a real concentration among sort of college towns, and did very poorly in urban Black areas and working class areas and rural areas. So he has a very kind of narrow appeal. And I agree with Schumer in the sense that I do think that segment of the left is very energetic and very enthusiastic, and that gives them a kind of advantage. They're also pretty well organized, it looks like. But I really think what he's doing here is he's trying to cover for what is a very, very troubled campaign that could result in a net loss for Democrats in the Senate.
I want to say one more thing. This is the epitome of the Leering Center. The Leering Center started here. The amount of fraud that goes through Michigan is in the billions. If they have trouble with their economy, they should stop paying fraud. That's what they should do. Like everything about all his economic points are lies. Number one, the national interest go above the state interest when it comes to international trade. Number two, if you want to have a problem with your budget, stop paying, what is it, 8.5 to $11 billion in fraud. Maybe that's where your budget is a little off.
Yeah, great point. I am seeing something that is a bit concerning, which I want to use as a way to encourage people to go vote for the Michigan Senate race, is that Abdul El Sayed is now at 64. So when 64% chance of winning, because we were like, it went to the lowest it was 56. But in the past week, he has now increased, and the gap between him and Mike Rogers is now greater. I don't know for what reason. Oh, it went all the way down to 55, but now it's all the way up to 64. So it's almost a 9-point increase, which is a big increase. The gap is widening. So it's very important that you guys go vote for the Senate race. This is big. Guys, remember, these Senate positions are so significant, way more important than even the Congress seats. So this is a major threat for your liberties, and you need to go vote. Right, guys?
Look,
Absolutely.
I said it, yes. Go ahead, sir.
No, I just wanted to endorse what Armin said. I got nothing else.
One thing I said yesterday, if the polls say the other guy is winning, don't get demoralized. Go vote.
Yes.
If the polls say your guy is winning, don't get complacent. Go vote and mobilize on both fronts. Don't let them, it's a barometer. It's not a way for you to make decisions.
Yeah. Okay. And then, like, he is saying on this topic, this is about Michigan as well, I think. Yes, okay. It's saying it's official. More Democrat voters are jumping ship in Michigan, publicly announcing support for Mike Rogers, which is a Republican, for Senate. This is huge. This person is saying, I usually vote Democrat, but I'm gonna. Okay, let me just play the video instead of.
Oh yeah, that's the one. I was like,
Huh?
that's the one. That's what I meant. I saw this. Democrats for Mike Rogers.
Okay. That's good. So let's do. So now I could play it.
I'm Rabbi Asher Lopatin from Huntington Woods. I usually vote Democrat, but I'm going to be voting for Mike Rogers. And I want to start out by saying, it's a little off script, that he's an incredible man. And the number one reason to vote for him, his policies, but who he is as a character, as a person, as a caring, sensitive man, I am voting for him. On the other hand, and I'm sad to say this, that Abdul al-Sayed has made one thing very clear. We cannot let him anywhere near the U.S. Senate. Sadly, tragically, he's shown contempt for the Jewish community and, frankly, for American values by making Hassan Piker a vicious anti-Semite and racist, his campaign surrogate, and someone he buddies up with before the primary and after the primary. He's never disavowed Hassan's anti-Semitism, a man who's called Orthodox Jews like me inbred. When Abdul al-Sayed was asked about the terrorist who attempted to blow up a synagogue right here in Michigan with hundreds of children, like Thaler, hundreds of children, all he said, hurt people, hurt people. Sadly, Abdul al-Sayed has shown only contempt for Jews as a people and called my people bloodthirsty. And the reason Michigan, our great state of Michigan, doesn't have the funds it needs. So sadly, Abdul al-Sayed is completely unfit to represent any piece of Michigan. The Jewish community, the African-American community, the Chaldean, or even Arab Americans. So as someone who votes Democrat usually, I am proud this time to support Mike Rogers, and I encourage everyone to do so as well. Thank you.
Okay, so
Uh,
what do you think about Democrats who are voting for Rogers?
Look, I'm seeing a lot of this, and I'm hopeful because I do think that there are a lot of Democrats who are alarmed by the rise of the socialist candidates, and they should be, they should be, and it's about time they wake up. So we don't have to repeat ourselves. Socialism has been tried in many places around the world, and the results have been disastrous. We have a country that is complicated and it has challenges, but there's a lot that we have that we can lose. We can lose it, and it can be disastrous. And the Iranian people know that as well as anybody. Right, so things can go sour, and we can find ourselves starving. We can see massive increases in violence, massive increases in state repression. We don't want any part of that. These people cannot have a role in shaping policy, and hopefully Democrats, normie Democrats, are waking up to this threat.
I would
Right.
also like to say that he's not, if you talk, oh, they blame the Jews for the economy, but not the leering centers. That has to be pushed more. I want to see that more in the conversation. You guys know what to do, chat.
Yes. We got a super chat by Shauna. Thank you so much, Shauna. Shauna saying Trump and Mike Rogers are bringing jobs, real good jobs. The Rust Belt is getting its shine back. Wow, that's cute. Oh my God, that's so poetic. I like that. The Rust Belt is getting its shine back. Wow, that's so that sounds such a poet. Also, Nazis suck. Suck D. Yes, they do. Okay. Yeah.
Sorry, there was one other data point that I saw recently that is worth taking a look at if we get a chance, which is Gretchen Whitmer, the governor of Michigan, was on Gavin Newsom's podcast and had some actually positive comments about Trump. And she said that she wrote him a note after his 2024 election victory and put her number, and that she called him back. He called her back, and they actually talked about how they could cooperate to improve Michigan's prosperity. So I think this happened recently, but and I don't know the entire context. I'm sure she has a lot of criticism for Trump, but here she was really undermining the sort of knee-jerk Democratic posturing versus Trump, and it was recently.
Speaking of Hassan Piker, he commented here, but before we read his comment, I want to first see what he was responding to. Let me just play this.
That's what these candidates are talking about. They're jihadist sympathizers. We're seeing that there with El Sayed. You're seeing Hassan Piker become the voice and the spokesperson there for the Democratic Party. So I think we have to highlight it because America needs to know what we're up against. And I think this is going to make sure that in November, people turn away from that.
All right, she's 100% right. And then Hassan Piker commented on this saying, "We are for a pluralistic, secular democracy. You are not, yet you call us jihadist sympathizers. You are, because we oppose genocide, being funded with our tax dollars and our weapons." Interesting. This is one of the biggest strawmans I've seen for a while. This is the mother of all strawmans. But yeah, go on, Sid.
Yeah, I mean, this is like pretty much everything written here is wrong. We are for a pluralistic secular democracy. I wonder if Piker, when he visited Cuba recently, encouraged the Cuban government, which he met with and offered solidarity to. I wonder if he suggested that Cuba shift to a pluralistic secular democracy. So you call us jihadist sympathizers. I mean, he was interviewing Houthis and bigging them up. I mean, I don't know what you want. I really don't know what you want. I mean, is he disputing the label? I mean, I don't even know what to make of that. I mean, he said Hamas was 1,000 times better than Israel. I mean, I don't. How can you say? Look, just own it. Okay, you like jihadists? That's fine. I mean, it's not fine for me, but I don't understand how you can deny the label. Let's just say, let's just call it a neutral label, and you are a jihadist sympathizer. And I really don't see. Okay, and then we oppose genocide. No, you don't oppose genocide. You don't give a damn about genocide. It's nonsense. I mean, if you cared about genocide, then you would be thinking about a lot of other conflicts and not so obsessed with Gaza.
He has stated that lying is OP, like overpowered, and he does lie a lot. Like when he said, like he's deflecting to genocide because he knows he didn't just interview a Houthi. Like he plays speeches from terrorists and says, you may not like this guy, like Hezbollah and Hamas terrorists. You may not like this guy, but he's read more books than you and blah, 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 blah. Yeah, because they're all Western educated. But my point is, he lies. He considers lying a strategy. That's part of their ethos. There is no truth but power. If you could fool them into voting for you, you bet on them for being fools. Like if they don't know what you want, let them, if they don't know what you really want, use them as tools, right? He plays their propaganda videos and says, this is great music, brings a friend on, like the Nick, his friend, the black guy. He brings him in, makes him sit, watch this video, has this propaganda music with like a terrorist music video. And the guy is like, I don't think this is a music video. No, but look at the musicality. Straight up propaganda on Twitch.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Yes, agreed. Actually, let me go back.
I think Piker is really becoming an albatross. I mean, like it works for him as a sort of social media performance artist. All the controversy, but I'm very unconvinced that he is a benefit to any sort of for democratic elections.
So I just wanted to quickly say, like he says, you call us jihadi sympathizers because we oppose genocide. No, because we call you jihadi sympathizers because you sympathize with jihadists and you admitted it. You said it. You sympathize with Hezbollah. You sympathize with the Houthis. You sympathize with Hamas, and you owned it. Like you did it explicitly. It wasn't. You weren't dog whistling that thing. You were saying it. So yeah, we call you jihadi sympathizer because you sympathize with jihadis. But then it says because we oppose genocide. You do not oppose genocide.
No.
You actually support every single group that wants to do genocide. Right. So
yeah, I mean, that's the thing about these jihadis. They are explicitly genocidal.
Yeah, I mean, they support Hezbollah that wants to do genocide on the Jews. You support the Islamic Republic that wants to do genocide on the Jews. You support the Houthis, who literally their flag says, "Curse be upon the Jews." That you support. You supported the explicit. You had a stream with a Houthi, and you celebrated that person, right? And these are people who they brag about they say curse be upon the Jews and the Islamic Republic as well. And you support the CCP, who does genocide on Muslims, actually. So, right,
Did you know that he was in they were doing like a little flag competition, and he's sitting next to his gay friend, which is, I don't have anything wrong with it, but he says, yes, my favorite flag is Hezbollah. If you can see the face on his friend, because he knows what they do to them. Like, he's like, what? Looking at him like, what are you doing? We're on the air. What Hezbollah? Yeah, it's so cool. Crazy.
Okay. Crazy, yes. Speaking of crazy people who want to do genocide, this Jew hater just gave us another super chat. He's saying, do you think Harvey Weinstein and Jeffrey Epstein would have voted for Abdul El Sayed after Mamdani won all of Jeffrey's clients left in Yorkistan? I don't know. Stupid comment, I guess. I don't want to. I don't.
Well,
Did you
I
think that
think
was a smart comment? I don't know. It was okay. Yeah, go on.
Jeffrey
Not worth
Epstein's
explaining.
youngest victim was like 12. Mohammed's youngest
it is.
victim was 6. What? No, no yeah, something like that.
Yeah,
Yes.
I'm, you know, of course, I think Epstein was slime, and I'm loath to defend him. But you know, I mean, we have the Epstein case, and we have, you know, across the pond, we have the grooming gangs, and the scale and the scale of crimes and the scale of depravity is just, there's no comparison here. So, you know, like you use Epstein as a sort of as a stand-in for the devil, and he's not a good guy. There's no disputing that. But I mean, look, I mean, I just don't see how you can make that claim without being extremely hypocritical, unless you're calling it out everywhere. But if it's only when Jews do it, it's bad, which is what it looks like. Then you're not serious. You're not making a principled point at all.
We put Epstein in jail. You should have put Mohammed in jail.
I think I found the video of this person that is giving us these super chats. I know, like, okay, let me show you. Let me show you the base of operation that these people have. This is what it looks like. This is one of the people who reporting for duty. One of those. They get, I don't know who's funding them. Is
Well,
that you?
Thank you
Is
for
that
your
you?
contributions to all of you.
Right.
Thank you so much.
He's getting scolded. Don't let him talk about Islam. You're bringing us into it.
We thank you for watching, and thank you for funding us.
Yes. Look at this. Speaking of Durka jihadi people, this video just came out of Iran, and these are some jihadi women holding the dragging the coffin of Trump and Netanyahu in the street. Okay, we don't need to listen to that. Look at this. This is coping.
This is so performative.
Yeah.
They did not carry that a second past. Okay, I stopped the video.
I would say that this is excellent cover for transporting Mustaba's dead body.
So this is what actually happened to their supreme leader, but this is what they're hoping. You know, their dreams about Trump and Netanyahu is what we actually managed to do to their supreme leader. We have achieved this on you, but you have not. Yeah. Sharon is saying these women are disgusting. Yeah. Speaking of disgusting, let's go to Abdul El Sayed and listen to what he has to say over here.
Let me start by just asking you. I mean, I just outlined how you've tried to schedule a debate. They've tried to schedule a debate, the organizers. No date has been decided on yet. Why do you think Mike Rogers is so far refusing to agree to a date for this debate?
I mean, I hate to say it, he's a coward. Rogers, the Dodger, does not want to actually debate because he knows that he's an empty suit with no new ideas and a terrible record that he's going to have to contend with. And then he's going to be asked to defend Donald Trump's hideous record on everything from the economy to foreign policy to the drapes in the ballroom. And he doesn't want to have to do that. So he'd rather just not face questions and instead make AI ads that go after me because of the color of my skin or how I pray. We've got to have a conversation about how we actually address the inflation crisis, how we get people health care, how we take on so many of the challenges that Donald Trump is creating. I'm eager to have that conversation. He is welcome to do that, or he can continue to dodge or go back to his McMansion in Florida.
Thoughts?
Well, so I don't know what's going on here. I mean, maybe El Sayed is right that he's offered to debate and Rogers has declined. I guess, like, in a healthy political environment, I would like candidates to debate, and I think that could be a very useful view into differences in policies. But I don't think that we're in a healthy political environment, and I don't really need a debate to decide that I don't want El Sayed anywhere near the U.S. government. So I don't really care so much, I guess. And I think that I do think that debates are often just extremely performative and not substantive. And that's just the way it's been going. And I think some people will blame Trump, but that was really true before Trump. So it does feel like a bit of a tired format. I think that the rise of independent media and the sort of 4-hour interviews are really better views into what people think than the sort of like, soundbite hacking. So I would just say, like, generally speaking, I'm pro debate. But I think these kind of political debates, I found them to be quite useless. And in the case of El Sayed, I don't need a debate. I don't need a debate at all. I've seen enough.
Well, like he keeps talking about, people keep talking about this ballroom. The ballroom is like basically privately funded. Like they didn't, like, he got people to invest, like donors paid for that ballroom. I don't know why he's so worried about that. And if he's worried about his state and talking about his state, he needs to stop his state leering centers defrauding the people. Maybe if they weren't taking so much from the medical fraud that was literally revealed on camera, you would have more money for your Medicaid and Medicare system. But there's so much medical fraud that's why your medical system doesn't work. He's the one that's dodging.
That's a great point. I mean, so this is the issue. Like they, these socialists, they propose increasing social spending dramatically, but they seem to be very, very passive on fraud, and really the only way. I mean, I'm very skeptical of social spending in general, because I think the opportunity for waste is extremely high. But if you're going to convince me that we should do more social spending, you have to show that you're absolutely vigilant on fraud. You can't run cover. You cannot run cover for fraud and be serious about wanting to increase social spending. It doesn't make sense.
Yeah. We got a super chat from Shana saying, no one cares about the way he prays. People care that he belongs to a demographic that wants to force America to pray that way. Yes, and also, that's a good point, Shana. Also, where did he get the accusation of because of the color of my skin? Like, did Mike Rogers make any comment on that? Like listen to this. This is a major accusation here.
Policy to the drapes in the ballroom, and he doesn't want to have to do that. So he'd rather just not face questions and instead make AI ads that go after me because of the color of my skin or how I pray.
Because of the color of my skin, has Mike Rogers made any comments about the color of his skin? Where did he get that
Or
from?
the ballroom? What does the ballroom have to do with Mike Rogers?
Well,
He's the one that's deflecting.
Yeah. Can I say?
But where does the color of the screen? Yeah, go on. Say.
No, so I want to be clear here, because this is what he's implying. So I want to be clear that I would 100% I would vote for somebody who has his skin color, which is not that different from mine, by the way, but who has his skin color and is even a practicing Muslim. I would vote for somebody like that if they had the right values and the right policies otherwise. And I know that, so this may be surprising for people to hear, but it is 100% true. There are some Muslims, okay? There are some Muslims that have stood up for Israel when Israel was really down and facing an incredible amount of hate and a flood of lies. And I saw Muslims stand up and say, I'm going to share the pain. I'm going to share the burden. And I'm going to stand by you when everybody is hating on you. And I won't forget that. I will not forget that. Yeah, I mean, for me, that's not disqualifying at all. Not the skin color, not even the religion. I have my issues with Islam. I have my issues with how not just with the way that Muslims behave, but also with the doctrines and the texts. I have a lot of issues with that. But for me, it's not disqualifying. Not at all disqualifying. I would enthusiastically support certain Muslims that I thought had the right values and the right policies and loved the country like I love the country and cared for the community and wanted prosperity. 100% I would do that.
Yeah, I agree. But again, I'm going to go back to this. Where does he get the color of skin from? Like, isn't that a disgusting, vile accusation of Mike Rogers? I mean, did he mention anything about the color of his skin? Like, that is a very disgusting accusation.
Well, I would just say I don't know myself. If Rogers did that, he shouldn't have done that. My guess is that that's probably not what happened, right? So I think that this is a deflection tactic because he wants to make it sound like people object to him because of his race or his religion, and I don't at all. I don't at all object to his race or his religion. Okay, that's not why I object to him. I just think that his policies, his ideology, and his apologia for terrorism are all disqualifying to me.
I don't know. I just have a very disgust reaction towards somebody who's trying to act like he's a victim.
Yes.
And say like, oh, somebody's doing racism against me. We had like a single shred of evidence that is like, oh, the other side is against me because of racism. I don't know. I know the monkey hates this as well, right? I mean, like, doesn't that make you like? I don't know. It's just so vile when people do this. Yeah.
I found what he's talking about, and basically he's lying. Like, there's only the claim when you investigate the Rogers ad. The ad talks about Hassan Piker, his 9/11 comments, and Bernie Rogers, left wing. It's nothing. He's just lying. He's literally lying. I do hate this.
Oh, okay. So great. You went and found the source. What can you send me the source? What is being referred to? Like, if you have it, just no pressure.
Yes. I'll look for it. Like, I found the comment about it. I'll look for the source. Be right back.
Okay. So, oh no. If you don't have it, I don't want to make you go do it. You could go. It's okay. You can send it to me on Telegram, but if you have it.
Yeah. Good point from Pierce Squared. Saul Alinsky, Marxist playbook, call them what you are. Yep, moral inversion. Accuse others. Projection.
Okay. Mikey, are you back? Because the next segment is something that you bring attention to. So I want to do it when the monkey is here. But
yes,
we got. Okay. Samantha, thank you so much. Jewish Samantha just gave us 2 jewels. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Samantha.
Support. Thank you, Samantha. All right, monkey. Look at this. I'm not going to play the whole thing because it's 11 minutes. Okay. But do you mind reading the caption, because you bring attention to this for us? So I thought that it would be many people who watch our channel are now more aware of this issue because of you. So I just wanted you to read this, if you don't mind.
Okay. Eric Doherty is saying, oh my God, Alaska poll workers were going to allow James O'Keefe to vote under the name of Senator Lisa Murkowski's brother, Brian. James said he was Brian Murkowski, and then they offered him a ballot, no ID. Murkowski is blocking the SAVE Act. The poll worker even offered a ballot for Murkowski's state director. Murkowski has to go in her primary, and we need to Save America Act nation. We need the Save America Act nationwide.
Yes. So I'm not going to play this whole thing. Maybe just play the first 2 minutes of it. See what this is about.
This is James O'Keefe in Anchorage, Alaska. I'm about to get offered Senator Lisa Murkowski's brother's ballot.
The last name is Murkowski. I think I left my wallet in the vehicle. Would it be possible to vote without it today?
Absolutely possible.
Oh, good. I said I could vote. Brian Murkowski could vote. She's like, yes, you can vote.
You can vote if you'd like to. Do you want to do a question ballot?
I mean, all I got to do is do the question ballot, then I can vote.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Brian Murkowski, Senator Murkowski's brother, doesn't even live in Alaska, but his name is still on the voter rolls.
Do you know how to spell Brian?
Brian.
Yeah,
That's the address.
in the correct place.
Oh, perfect.
Vote. You have a mugshot.
Oh, I think I left that at home. Blood?
DNA.
Oh, I got blood here.
You got blood. You want to leave your blood?
You're Caroline. Carolyn. Carolyn's a funny one, by the way.
I have no idea what's happening.
Thank you for helping me.
And you know what? We appreciate it too because, you know, we're volunteers and we're trying to figure this out.
Huh? We're all trying to figure things out in life, right? Yeah. Brian Murkowski always does the right thing.
He's making it fun.
Yeah, he's just making it fun.
I'm worried about the blood thing. Like, what the hell?
Yeah.
We have a vampires working the polls over there. AWOL.
I don't know. I don't know what's happening, but okay. What do you? Anyways, what do you guys think about this? Again, this is 11 minutes, so I'm not going to play the whole thing, unless you want me to. Do we have time? No, we don't.
I think we have the main takeaway because we literally saw them allow it. It means that their voter rolls are dirty, and the reason they don't want the act is because they think they will benefit. And I think this is a good example of what we say. If we don't police the worst among us, we become defined by them. Republicans don't care if you're a Republican like Murkowski. I think she is a Republican, right? She's one of the Republicans that is against the SAVE Act. This is a Republican holding themselves to account. It's convenient for her. It's not convenient for everybody else. But, you know, some people might hide it or not talk too much about it and, you know, kind of like play it off under the rug and find another way to get the votes. But if we're going to be honest about it, this is a good example of something the left does not do. Like, this is something Asmongold, the Hermit King, says: if you don't hold the worst among you to account, if you don't police the worst among you, you become defined by them. And this is something that the right also not allow, which is why people like James O'Keefe hold people to account on the left and the right. Love that guy.
Yeah.
So I'll say, like, yeah, I mean, this is very entertaining. I don't know how true it is. I mean, I'm not saying it's not true. I just really don't know. Maybe there's another guy named Brian Murkowski. But what I would say is that we have to look beyond this, and we have to understand that we really need a voting system we can trust. So, you know, there is a sort of a political divide, a debate about the SAVE Act, and I can't really say, like, I don't have the knowledge or the legal understanding or the sort of logistical understanding to say whether the SAVE Act is good or not. But what I would say is that increasingly we have both parties complaining about election results that don't go their way and implying cheating. And that says that the underlying system is not trusted across the board. Okay, it's not trusted, and that's only going to accelerate. Now, there are people who want to exploit the lack of trust in the system to advance their own candidates. We should reject that. We should reject that wholeheartedly. We should have elections that people trust. We should have systems that people trust, and we should work together to ensure that that's the case. You know, we should be on the same page on this as Americans. We should be on the same page on this. So, okay, if there's another way to do it, but understand what the goal is. The goal is trust, public trust in the system. That is the goal. If we get that, then we can remove all of this nonsense. But it really does seem like it really does seem like the system is very, very vulnerable.
I'm antitrust. I want a system I can check. I don't think we should ever trust the system. I think the system should be easier to verify. It's one thing to have the same name, but you got the same name and same address. Wow, that's really rare, especially in a place like Alaska. Like, we have seen videos where we can see hundreds and hundreds of voters with false ballots. I think I am antitrust. I am completely antitrust. I like verification. Like, trust is why we have the problem we have. The reason, because we have to trust these machines. We have to trust these algorithms. I had a comment from Jose here that says Florida counted was done with their count in just one day, right? A lot of them have like paper style ballots. We in Puerto Rico, we have paper ballots and ID. We get done in one day. The reason we have this 3-4 day thing is because they're doing electronics and you have to trust them. It's very hard to verify those ballots. Like, I understand that we should be able to trust it, but like, just to like agree with you sort of, the way you create trust is when it becomes easy to verify. And it is very hard to verify these things because they have become very nebulous.
Yeah, no, I agree with you 100%. So I think that my trust in a system is dependent on there being provenance and auditability. So if it's not there, then it's not trustable. So I stand corrected. So yeah, my position is essentially Monkey's position.
Like that word, auditability. Yes, exactly. Auditability. You're right. I agree.
Okay. Guys, so let's move to the next topic. There's a big news that I don't understand because I haven't been following this. Do you guys know who Lindsay Clancy is? Is she a child abuser woman?
Not familiar with that name.
So, because there's a couple of viral things that are going on right now.
Yeah.
So, do you know, Monkey, what this is about?
I know exactly what this is about. It's a little regarded. I would say it's a little like, okay, so there is a woman. It's sad. It's really sad. She killed her 3 children, right? She killed them. She definitely killed them. She sent the husband away so that she could do it. The husband was somewhere else under a whole bunch of cameras because she purposely sent him far away to do things, like sent him to the store or something. So she could then murder her 3 children. She blamed postpartum depression, and these people are all supporting her in that she's the victim. There is also a series of Candace Owen types inventing true crime theories about how it really wasn't her, even though she confessed. The evidence is all there. Like, this is all known, but because they hate men and they love abortion, now they love post-birth abortions, which is just murder. They are jumping on this bandwagon. There are a whole bunch of wannabe Candace Owenses making a whole bunch of conspiracy videos about it. I'll go even farther. Some of them say it's impossible because it was the husband because he's a Gemini and she's the wrong astrology sign to do that. It is also dumb that it is making women look terrible. And if you did a Venn diagram between the people in this area at an abortion rally and then looked at the people here, it would be almost a circle. I can almost bet.
So
these are just
let
people
me explain what is this. But people don't know what this is. So the caption says, liberal white women are outside the courthouse supporting Lindsay Clancy, who strangled her 3 children. Strangled. Wow. That's okay. Something is very wrong in our society. So this is the video that they're playing. What? Why are they supporting her? Why are they supporting her?
Because she's a woman and she killed 3 children.
Okay, let's listen to Candace Owens defending her, because maybe Candace Owens. So Candace Owens defends Lindsay Clancy murdering her own children, blaming Big Pharma instead. Okay, Big Pharma.
Corinne writes, I know you're busy, but I'd love to know your thoughts on a Lindsay Clancy case in Massachusetts. I made my thoughts clear on this the moment that she was arrested, the moment that it made the news. Lindsay Clancy is obviously not guilty. There are a fleet of doctors who should be imprisoned for what they put her on. I regularly speak out against Big Pharma. They get away with murder all the time. And in this case, they are getting...
I love Big Pharma. Big Pharma is responsible for so much good medicine that has saved so many people's lives.
Away with the murder of really her 3 children, but also completely destroyed her life. When Lindsay Clancy, in my opinion, is not guilty. She was put into an intentional psychosis when she probably just needed to give her kids away for a weekend to get better, but they constantly give you these drugs that do not make things better. And the cocktail of 10 pharmaceuticals that she was on is absolute madness. Absolute madness. Corinne writes.
Okay. And
can I just say something here?
Yep.
Like
Yeah,
you
of
probably agree with me because like you support like some pharmaceuticals are great actually. Okay, so if you drink alcohol, that's absolutely legal. If you get alcohol, get in your car and run somebody over, that's second degree murder, right? Like you're being like negligent.
Yes.
If you get on a whole bunch of pills and you drive a car and you run somebody over, you're being negligent. If you take a whole bunch of pills and you kill people in your house, that's still, if it was a man who did this, those same people will be out there saying lynch him.
Yes. Yeah, I mean, this you could excuse so much with this, right? Right? I mean, I don't know. I mean, if she was on alcohol and then she killed her children, would you then be defending her? Right? That's a good example, Monkey. Okay. Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah,
this is a terrible tragedy, and it's just disgusting to see it politicized. I don't really know what medication she was on. It's hard for me to understand how you can jump from being overprescribed medication to saying you're not guilty of strangling your own children. I don't really get that. That seems like a stretch to me. That's not to condone the medical practitioners in this case, or to say that she was prescribed the right stuff. I really don't know. I mean, that's a bigger discussion, but I think what's going on here, this is a reflection of some deep pathology in the American political system, that this is even getting politicized. It's so disgusting. I would just say, like, on pharma, I have some experience because I worked in pharma, in the pharma industry, and I do think that there are some I would say like some problematic incentives in the industry. And I think
like every industry.
What's that?
Like every industry.
Yeah, well, no, I think there's some things that are kind of unique to pharma. I think part of it is it's kind of an over-regulation. So what ends up happening is that we say big pharma, right? So that the reality is that pharma companies, in a sense, have to be big. And the reason why they have to be big is because they need to have the armies of lawyers to deal with regulation. So if you're a small player, you really can't compete because there's so much legal overhead that you need. Look, I think there's 1,000 ways to reform it. I don't really have the answers, but I do think that there's some issues there, and we can debate about it.
It's not that the problem with the word big pharma is that it assumes that the problem is that they're big. Most of the problems in pharmaceutical companies is over-regulation and lack of competition, right?
Yeah.
Over-regulation and lack of competition causes corruption, causes inefficiency, causes wrong incentives. But if you have competition and low regulations, limited regulations, then you want them to be as big as possible. Not just because of legal reasons, but also because the bigger they are, the more research they could do, the more invention they could do. So the issue, whatever issues you could find with pharma, is not that they're big. You want your pharmaceutical companies to be gigantic, so that they could afford making you the best drugs. So maybe people should say, I hate over-regulated pharma, or I hate low competition, like barriers. Name the issue, not big. Big is good. Big is good. And when people are producing, where people are inventing, where people are delivering goods and services, the bigger the better.
Okay, so I would say you're right to call me on that. So the problem is not that they're big, but I would just say that what happens is that oftentimes big players will use their size to perform regulatory capture and create rules that protect their bigness. Okay, so that's just something.
so
It's
the
a danger. It's a danger. It's something that we have to be vigilant of. But big is not the problem. And big companies can do big things, and we need big things. So there's absolutely a requirement for size in various industries, but we just have to be extremely careful that they don't use their size to kill competition.
I have a confusion here. Did Pfizer prescribe
And
her,
can
or
I
was it the
respond?
doctor?
Can I respond to that first? Like, because I was in the middle of responding. Sid, now I lost my train of thought. Oh yeah. So if that failure happens, right? The failure is with the government that couldn't create competition, that didn't go and break monopolies, right? That didn't regulate well. Because a for-profit company does what a for-profit company does. A for-profit company maximizes profit. If there is over-regulation or lack of competition, right, or regulatory capture, that is a failure of the government not creating the conditions where there is ease of entry for new players and there's lack of competition. It's not the failure of the for-profit company. The for-profit company is doing exactly what it's designed to do and maximize profit.
No, I agree with you. I don't think that we're actually arguing here. I'm just saying that, as you're saying, that they have an incentive to do it, right? So one of the things that big companies often have, they have an incentive in order to maximize profits. They have an incentive to influence government to reduce competition. So we just need to be aware of that, and we need to be vigilant. We need to make sure that regulation is working to increase competition and not undermine competition, and that's our responsibility. Right, as citizens, as voters, that is our responsibility. It's the responsibility of the people that we put in power. So yeah, we cannot blame the companies for pursuing their own interests. I absolutely agree with that. I'm just saying that we have to be aware that their incentives drive them to do that. So that we have to counter that.
Right. So Monkey, you wanted to add something? And I agree, Sid.
Yeah, I think we're getting away from the case. The case is about a woman who killed her children. The excuse is that the doctors gave her bad medicine. If the doctors gave her bad medicine, and by the way, how did she have the wherewithal to know that she had to get rid of her husband? Premeditation, but she was under so many drugs that she didn't know what she was doing, right? Which I find incredibly suspicious. Also, the methodology seemed like incredibly focused and alert. Like you don't just do this walking in your sleep, right? So the doctors. I saw something from Jose. He says 5 doctors. Now, I don't think that it was Pfizer that went to her door and did this. So I can't blame Big Pharma. I don't think it was Johnson & Johnson that went to her door. Hey, take this drug. I don't think they did this under the most benevolent, take that I have. It's a manslaughter, like it's like murder 2, like there was a extenuating circumstances, but it's still a question of the doctor and this lady that this thing where she premeditatedly got rid of her husband and killed her kids. I don't think blaming Big Pharma. How Big Pharma didn't give her the drugs? Pfizer didn't go to her house. Johnson & Johnson didn't go to her house and give her drugs. If anything, the doctors maybe have had to coordinate better on the side effects. I don't know, but I don't see, like, if we go to the central case, I don't see how she's defensible and how Candace deflecting it to Big Pharma is useful at all.
No, you're right. I mean, there is a kind of a deflection going on here. So look, it's entirely possible that there was some medical malpractice that resulted in her getting the wrong medications and let's say exacerbating a difficult situation, a difficult psychological state. So that's entirely possible. I don't know if that's true. It may be true. It may not be true. We don't know. It's just incredibly tragic that we're talking about 3 dead children, and the manner in which they were killed, and it's not helpful to politicize this. It's much better for us to be to investigate what happened and be clear about what happened and try to figure out how do we mitigate this and prevent this kind of stuff from happening. So with that, I need to step away for a second. I've had too much water to drink, and I'll be back very shortly.
Okay, no worries. In the meantime, we could read the super chat by Shana saying, for those of you blaming old white cat ladies, I am an old white cat lady, and I want Clancy to get the chair. Shana, you are not old.
Yeah, what? That's crazy.
What are you talking about? Yeah.
By what standard? I think you're being too harsh on
unless
yourself. And we know we have an
unless you're-
exceptional
unless
chat.
you age very well. Yes.
I know, right? Unless we have a very we also know we have an exceptional chat. So when we're talking about a case chat, we know you guys are exceptional. You guys are the exceptions, not the rule. There are some, like, I love cats myself. There's some great people out there. Chat, you know what? You guys are wonderful, especially Shauna, who always has great topics and great observation.
I think in general, old white cat ladies are good people. You know, not just our chat, but yes. And thank you, Shana, for the super chat. And yes, I don't know, Shana, you're lying. You're lying. You're not old. Everything else, though, here is true. Okay, so let's actually, now that we're on this topic, Nick Fuentes had to say something about this regarding Candace Owens' comment. Let's play that.
I see Candace. She says, obviously she's not guilty. It's big pharma. It's big pharma. Have you lost your fucking mind? I literally cannot even imagine. There are stories of mothers who will lift up a wreckage of a car to save their children trapped underneath. Women will die. Mothers will die for their children. They'll kill to avenge their murdered children. And this psycho holds down her 3 babies, strangles them to death. You're a mother yourself, you sick bitch. You're a mother yourself. What is wrong with you? And she says, obviously she's not guilty. It was big pharma. Candace, come back to reality. Come back to God. Come back to earth. What is the matter with you?
That was intense.
Did you notice something there? There was something very rare in that clip.
What?
Not
he was an
one Jew
anti-woman?
mentioned.
Oh, yes. And he was an anti-woman for once.
Yeah, he was a little pro-woman. I appreciate that. I love my little girl. I want her to grow up to be a wonderful woman, like a lot of wonderful women out there, and never be like Candace. Oh my God, what a nightmare!
Oh my God. Okay, guys, do not let this fool you. Nick Fuentes is a demon himself, right? So do not let this fool you. But this was interesting.
I would like to convert him, but I think Armin is right. He's gonna keep doing what he does.
Yeah. I mean, he might joke about it, and then if he jokes about it, then he's gonna stop joking about it at some point and say, like, "Did you think I was being serious? Did you really think I was being serious?" Like, he might do that. I don't know. All right, let me do. I want Sid to be back for this one because I think this one is funny. Sid is not back. All right, so let me do. Maybe I could do more of this before I go to the next video here.
And then, surprising nobody, Candace Owens weighed in on this. And what did she have to say about it? This is a direct quote from her show. She said, Lindsay Clancy is obviously not guilty. She was put into an intentional psychosis when she probably just needed to give her kids away for a weekend to get better. What a wicked, evil human being. Candace Owens herself is a mother. You're a mother yourself? And she says it so flippantly. She doesn't say, there's no gravitas. She doesn't even say something like, obviously it's horrific and obviously it's a disgusting tragedy and what an evil thing that transpired here. How flippant can you possibly be? You're a mother. She says, Lindsay Clancy is obviously not guilty. Is it obvious? That's obvious.
Oh, okay. Sid is back. So let's go to the next video. I'm done with that. So somebody's talking. He got $100 super chat here. Somebody's asking him about Islam. When Nick Fuentes talks about Islam, I want to see what he has to say. So let's listen to this.
I love to hear about Muslims leaving Islam. It's amazing.
Oh.
Yeah, no. The contemporaneous Roman accounts are wrong. The contemporary gospel accounts are wrong. But the Quran, which comes out 600 years later, yeah, they got it right. It's totally ridiculous. This idea, and that I think is a big problem for Muslims. They say that Jesus didn't die on the cross, didn't rise again. How does that even make sense? They say Jesus didn't claim to be God. Really? Then why was he killed? If Jesus didn't claim to be God, then why was he killed? The Jews say he claimed to be God. That's why they killed him, for being an idolater. The Romans said well, I guess he was killed at the behest of the Jews. But the Muslims say...
So the Muslims say that Jesus was... first of all, they say that Jesus wasn't killed. They killed somebody that thought they say that the Romans and the Jews killed God did a miracle, and somebody who betrayed Jesus turned into looking like Jesus. His face was changed, and the Romans crucified that person by mistake, and Jesus got away. And the reason why they were trying to crucify Jesus, according to Islam, is because he was preaching the word of God. So Jesus was being crucified for preaching the word of God, but he got away. He wasn't crucified. Did you guys not know this? Somebody's saying, yeah, this is official Islamic belief is that Jesus was not crucified. There was a miracle, and the person who betrayed Jesus ended up looking like him, and the Romans crucified him by mistake. Yeah.
That's why they see Christians as pagans, because they believe that there's more than one God. When you believe that God is also the Son, like some of them make that argument, at least in English. I don't know if that's central to the core tenets of being against the Christians. But when I've seen it in Spanish, they say, it's idolatry. You can't have more than one God. How can God be God and the Son? That's one of the things that they say.
Yes. All right, Sid, you want to say something?
Yeah. So yeah. I mean, just to follow up on that, I think it's my understanding that according to Muslim scripture, Allah played a trick on the Christians. So it was a kind of a deception
on the Jews.
Okay, on the Jews and the Christians, in the sense that, like, well, I suppose there were no real Christians back then, right? So this was maybe there's a semantic issue, but the followers, Allah played a trick on the followers of Jesus, because his deception allowed them to believe that Jesus was killed on the cross and was resurrected.
No. The original, first of all, the people who were following Jesus back then, according to Islam, are not Christians. They're Muslims. Right? And they knew what's happening. And
so they were in on the deception?
I think so. Yeah.
So who was in and who was not in on the deception?
I mean, I don't know. I don't know. I actually don't know about who exactly was in on the deception. I just know that the Jews and the Romans were tricked. I don't know the followers of Jesus, whether they were tricked or not.
Oh, interesting. Yeah. Okay.
But the followers of Jesus back then, their understanding is that the followers of Jesus back then knew that he's preaching the word of God and he is not God. But later, people who start calling themselves Christians corrupted the message of Jesus and created the Trinity. But
those later people, those later Christians, were they deceived by Allah?
No, they were deceived by Satan.
But Allah was the one who switched out Jesus for this other guy.
Yeah, but Allah didn't tell them that Jesus is God. And I think that they were in on it. They knew that Jesus ran away. I'm not sure.
Okay. That's confusing.
I have a question. So what happened to Jesus? Did he go into hiding? Is he in a well? What happened? Like, is he what? You know about the well guy, right? What is Jesus also in the well?
The Mahdi.
Jesus is
he in the well with the Mahdi?
No, actually, it's funny that you say that, because Jesus is returning with the Mahdi in the Mahdi's army.
That's right.
So Muslims believe that Mahdi is going to come back at the end of times, and he's going to lead an army, and in the front row of his army, right by his side, on his right, is going to be Jesus.
So
Okay,
maybe
but
they are in
did
the
he
well
go
together.
after? Like, did he go to just have a
Training
family
their
and
army.
die somewhere, change his name? Like, this is weird.
That's a good point. That's
Well,
that's a
if
good
the
point.
Mahdi can do it, why not Jesus?
Yes.
He's in a well, guys.
Because if I understand in Islam, even the Mahdi is just a person, right? He's not supernatural.
Well, he is supernatural,
Oh,
but
okay.
he is a person. I mean, he is not supernatural himself. These people are not, because if you do supernatural, so there's two ways to do supernatural, right? Either you are channeling the forces of jinns, and if you do that, that's sorcery, right? Or you're channeling the forces of God, and if you're doing that, that's a miracle, right?
Okay.
So humans themselves don't have supernatural powers. Jinns have supernatural powers, and if you contact a jinn, like a demon, and channel there and do that's basically the definition of sorcery in Islam. But if you're channeling God's power, then you're a prophet or an imam, and you're doing a miracle.
Okay, so that's fascinating. So just to update my own theology here, this is what I believe is going on now. So the Mahdi and Jesus are in a tunnel. They're in an underground tunnel, and they are training an army.
Yes. Training.
Or playing blackjack, or playing cards, playing Uno.
Well, Mehdi. So what they told us as a kid is Mehdi is just walking around in the world, like he's not training an army. Like as we're speaking, he could be like selling candy in South Korea, right, in a store, or he could be cutting someone's hair in in LA in a barber shop, right? So he's just roaming the world and just basically doing different things until his time's come.
Well, if he sells candy in North Korea, that would be a miracle. That would be several miracles.
Yes.
He might be the only one with a business in North Korea.
Anyways, we have a few more seconds of this. Let me finish this here.
But the Muslims say, no, he never claimed to be God, and he was never crucified, he never rose again. It's like, okay. So how do we make sense of the story? Why was he sentenced to death? How did he get out of his death sentence? How did he even accumulate a following if he was never crucified? Explain that one. It just doesn't work. They say a body double was crucified. Really? A body double? It's like a Candace Owens religion. No, Jesus is still alive. And he wasn't crucified. A body double was sent up. It just looks like him. It's like a Candace Owens theory of the crucifixion.
It's a Candace Owens religion.
Wow. I mean, come on. He makes it hard to completely discard him because he comes out with some gems like that. Islam is the Candace Owens of religious theory. That's a little gem. I mean, I don't like his stance on many things, but that's a little gem. I got it. I hate your take on Israel, but damn, I like that.
Yeah.
Look, this is one of the things that he's extremely compelling. He's very entertaining.
He hates every other anti-Semite. He wants to be top anti-Semite. Anytime there's competition, he mows them down because he like the rest of them are like even dumber. So it's kind of easy for him. But he has some funny takes. This is a funny take.
It is like a Candace Owens, yeah. And the last moment they came and they switched his body with somebody that looked exactly like him and they crucified him by mistake. That does sound like a Candace Owens conspiracy theory, to be honest. Yeah.
Yeah, like the Egyptian planes,
Planes, yes. True. All right, guys. We gotta go. Guys, we're gonna be in our discussion group with our group call today. Join us. The link is in the description. Sid, Monkey, you guys will be there, right?
Yeah. We'll be there.
Fantastic. And guys, if you're not there, you could watch it on Liberty Politics YouTube channel. We're going to be there in about an hour and 14 minutes, and it will be live streamed on Liberty Politics. Make sure you subscribe to Liberty Politics. Also, make sure you subscribe to Monkey's channel. The link is in the description. Go show him some love. Monkey comes here every day and contributes, so make sure you show him some appreciation by subscribing to his channel. Sid's,
I'm like
Sid's
3
channel,
away from 875. So if you guys could get me to 875, that would be fantastic. Oh, I got a phone call. 1 second.
All right, and guys, also Sid's channel is going to come pretty soon.
Next week.
So that next week. So once that happens, we're going to give you the link to that in the descriptions as well, so you can subscribe to that as well. And don't forget to like and subscribe to wherever you're watching. Appreciate you guys. Thank you to yes.
So I just want to say also thanks to FunSun69 for modding.
Yes, and all the other mods as well.
Other mods. Thanks to all the mods.
Yes. Amir, FunSun has been a great addition.
Oh, Amir. Okay, Amir, great job, Amir.
Oh, look at this thing. See you there, Armin. Well, thank you. That's fantastic. All our mods. Did you change your username? I don't know how to read this. Okay, no, I forgot. Is this Sarah or Jean? Which admin is this? But yeah, I'll see you there then. Okay. Thank you. All right, guys, we'll see you in the group call. Come join us there, or just watch us on YouTube and Liberty Politics. And until next time, I'm Israel Chai. Slava Ukraine, Cuba Libre, Taiwan Jiayo, Long Live America, Javisha, Payande, Iran. Mwah. See you guys soon.